Hey everybody, how's it going? Hi. What's up? Hey Lo. Oi. No, I just want to let you know, like, you weren't bothering me. I was really going through it the last couple days, but I'm okay now, So sorry about that. What's going on, everybody? Hi, Vina. How are you? Welcome. Yeah, so I just felt like going live and I was going to make a video, but then I can't be bothered using my VEED program and everything. So I just figured I'd do it live and everything. Yeah, I'm so glad I'm feeling better too. Don't worry about your typos. I can figure out what you say anyway. Sometimes I type so fast that I make typos myself and it really gets on my own nerves. So I figure that if I have a better setup and then I don't type like this all the time, then I'll be better at it too. So don't worry about it. I usually figure them out. Hey, Muse. How's it going? I hope you guys are all well. Yeah. It took me a couple days, but I'm starting to eat properly, you know. It really knocked me out of like, my regular routine. It really sucked because I was eating really well and everything. Ooh, I look really pale. I think it's because it's light. Hang on a second. So, but yeah. So I am. I'm trying to. So I hung out with Jamie for a little bit today, and she helped me get some weed because I really needed it. And hopefully it helps me get my appetite back. Yeah, I know. Shitty. I really wanted to stop, and I hate the fact that sometimes it makes me sick, but I don't know what else to do. But we're going to work on that together. And I'm going to kickboxing on Wednesday. Yeah, I know. I have some energies that have been repressed for a while that I feel like would be good through kickboxing. So, yeah. So we're working on it together, and we'll work it out, you know. So, I even took my food up to her place, tried to eat it, but then I just couldn't eat. So, then, hmm so it's shitty, but that's just the way it is, and unfortunately, oh, I've always had the worst periods ever since I was 9. So, God. But yeah, I am better, and I'm just hanging out. We went out today and went to Walmart and went to the car wash, which was fun. Went for coffee, talked about our podcast and stuff like that. So 9 is pretty early. What do you mean? Like 9 a.m.? I don't know what you mean. Oh, the age. Yes. Yeah. But you know what? It has to do with the Kundalini and Claustrum's oil. I didn't realize for a while. I'm so low down. I didn't realize for a while, but it does. And a lot of people that also consider themselves, say, God, this is so stupid, but the starseed thing also has to do with the Claustrum's oil. So a lot of star seeds will have had their period at about 9 years old. It's because I used to be on Facebook and talk with people for, oh my God, so many years, day after day, night and day. I used to be in so many groups. I used to run a group with like 30,000 people with this other guy. He actually asked me to help him. That's how that happened. And it was really great, But again, then somebody stole all my photos and made this fake account. And it was just this really big, awful thing. And I was like, you know what? I don't even want to do this kind of social media anymore. I never had Twitter. I never had Instagram. I never had anything. I don't even know if TikTok was around at that time. maybe. But yeah. So I used to talk to people a lot. Yeah. My mom got hers at 15. When did you get yours? If you don't mind me asking. Because, like, your mom, that's young, but what age were you? I know, sorry, dudes, but you can't take part in this. But, just trust me, it's awful. It's really bad. Like, I have pain from my belly button all the way down to my ankles, and sometimes I just have to do, like, the old lady shuffle because it hurts so bad. I know there's some guys that just won't give a shit, but seriously, just be grateful that you don't have it. On your 11th birthday, oh my God, at your cousin's house. You know what? I was at the beach. I was at the beach. I was in the lake, and I went to adjust my bathing suit, and there was a leech attached to my downstairs. And I was like, wait, that's not part of me. And then I ripped this thing off. I'm not even fucking with you right now. I ripped this thing off, and I realized that it wasn't exactly like biting me, but it was like, because I had started my period. I know this is absolutely disgusting, but it's fucking true. And then I ran out of the water, and I was crying and freaking out. And I drove home, like, dripping wet just from the lake with my sweater around on my bicycle, like, crying. And then that's how, I was like, Mom, I started my period. Because I knew what it was, I was always watching, like, documentary channel and stuff like that. And my mom probably told me about it a little bit. She told me way too much stuff. Make sure your kids can't hear me right now. Seriously, your kids should never be listening to my live stream. But I think I was like 7 years old. She told me Santa Claus isn't real. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh. So it like killed that magic for me at such a young age. She was an awful person. But yeah. Hey, John. Good to see you. I'm well. Thank you. I hope you're well too. Yeah, I think they did teach us. I remember sex ed in school and like health class and stuff. So it was probably a combination, but I didn't have a choice because I had to watch. I was always at my grandparents' house or something like that too, and that's what they like to watch as well. Because God knows I was always at a babysitter or whatever like that for years. So that grandma's or whatever. But hey, Ellie goes, good to see you. I hope you're well. Happy Sunday. Yeah, happy Sunday, everybody. It definitely was a much happier Sunday for me than the past few days. I didn't realize that there were like solar storms and shit too. There's some type of solar flare or something. I didn't actually even look it up yet, but I heard in a video that I was watching about like, I guess there was like a disaster in Italy. Holy shit, a tsunami. Scary as shit. That's one of the scariest things. Like either like one of the scariest things for me is the Titanic scenario, like going down in a boat, in the ocean like that. Oh God. You know what I mean? Ugh. Or freaking tsunami. That is so scary. And I feel so bad for all those people. It just annihilated the place. Like, oh my God. It was like a horror film. This guy on a bike was like going up and getting away from the water. And like, but some people were standing there with their freaking cell phone. Oh my God. So it's just crazy. So I just pray that all those people are okay and the animals and everything. And God, it just like the road is split in half. Like, holy shit. And it's been so cold here. It was like minus 36 degrees Celsius. Today and right now, it's minus 17 and it's freezing in here. All my windows and doors are frozen shut. I can't get the deck door open at all. I haven't been able to, like, because even when it's cold, like minus 20, where everyone just wants to go outside, sit on the steps, watch the birdies, then she comes back inside, I leave the door open for her, and I had to go get a space heater, right? Oh my gosh, it's so cold. Oh God, about that video. I know. Hi, Cellular, welcome. It's okay, we can talk about it. I feel a little bit better about it now, but honest to goodness. I know. Maybe it was just meant to be, and I'm really glad that it related with you and it helped other people know that it's okay to feel like that, because it is. I don't know. I came across a little bit more, and I may be getting to that today. I don't know in this live. I didn't plan for it because I planned to make it in a video. But we may. Okay, we may. Because it does have to do with the acquisition of money and idolatry and like raising yourself above others. Because a lot of these people, these elites, think that they're better than us, literally. Like they literally think that they are a higher breed. Like they think they're the aliens and they're better than us, for real. Like, oh, we're not human like them. They seriously think like this because they think that we are lower than dirt, the profane, for real. It's not even a joke. And I know it's so difficult to feel like, or to even understand or comprehend that that could exist, but it does. Yeah. Yeah. These are the same, never mind, about the jabs, right? They did this because they think that we are lower than dirt. So you have to understand that people like this actually exist. Yeah. The same type of people that thought it was okay to have like a slave and a servant and treat them like shit and spit on them and not let them use the toilet, those people still exist. And they still think there are certain individuals that are lower and beneath them and don't matter. Those people exist. Yeah. And they're usually in psychopaths in positions of power where they definitely shouldn't be, okay? It's awful. Let me see here. Okay, so because I just went on a rant about that, about the elites. So welcome, Cellular. Sorry about that. I know I turned off the comments, but like I said, I couldn't talk about it, but I'm really glad that it helped you. I am. I was in such a mood. It got worse from there. Trust me, it did. And I lowered my vibration, and then I got, I don't even know, like, I don't know if that was just a dream, but oh my goodness, I had a terrible nightmare, and this demon thing attacked Salem, and oh my Jesus. So hang on 1 second. Okay. So it was 6 degrees Fahrenheit here. A couple of my fingers turned white. 6 degrees Fahrenheit. I wish. Wherever you are, I wish. I have to wear multiple layers. You don't know cold like this. It's awful. I really I know this is terrible, but when they talked about global warming, I was like, you know what? It wouldn't I don't want any like polar bears to die or anything, but it would be nice if it was a little bit warmer in Canada. Frig. Oh man. Like I love snow, I love winter, but this awful, awful, awful cold like this is just I can't go outside. So it was really nice to go out. Like I try to, like when it's nicer, like -10, -12, I'll go for a walk. But dang, it's cold. I do. I love snow. I love snow. I think it's so beautiful. If it's mildly like friggin' oh frig. When I was telling you that it's like going out in the Arctic, it is. So it's just too much. I love where I live. Like I love my country. Canada's a beautiful place, but damn, it's cold. So it got to -27 here. Yeah, it was minus freaking 36 Celsius. Holy jeez, man. So, jeez. I'm just looking forward to when it's over. Like nice little snow, it's beautiful, especially around Christmas time. But dang, this cold. Okay, let me see. Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't listen to David Wilcock anymore, Lil. I don't. And I tried to watch about that with on Hidden in Plain Sight, but I couldn't figure out where it was where David said that he thinks he's Jesus. So I don't know about that. A historical figure, and every notable story, every single one. I thought it was just what was his name? I have a book by him, Edgar Casey. Casey, yeah. Is it Edgar Casey? Casey, right? Yeah, it is. It is. I just checked the book on the shelf. It is. Ooh, God, it's cold. It's freezing. And all, like, my door is literally, it looks like, remember, what was that villain called from Batman, the Iceman? It looks like the Iceman, like, iced the entire freaking window. That's, seriously. And there's ice. Was there ice in this? No, there was. There was ice on it earlier. It's probably because I've had that going so long. Jeez Louise, sorry, just going on a tangent of how freaking cold it is. Okay, hold on. Okay. Snow is nice to see on a web browser. Oh, well, I mean, on a nice, like, beautiful sunny day when it's like maybe 0 +1, just in the little bit, it's nice and it's doable. And sometimes it's nice to have a nice fluffy coat on and a cute little hat. I do love it. But just this is too much. It's too much. It literally hurts your bones. It hurts. So your fingers fall off. There's people that get frostbite out there. There was a fella that had a disability, and he used to just go walking at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And one time he did it with a Pepsi can in his hand, and he got friggin' frostbite, and one of his fingers fell off. See, he's a person that needs to be in a facility where they can watch him, but we haven't got anything. So literally, his nose almost fell off too. Yeah, and he's still alone. Oh, this place. Okay, let me see here. Cellular Sanctum. Well, that was Aligos that said about closing the web browser. Well, I mean, maybe you've just never had a beautiful experience in the snow. But I can't force you to love it. But I do, just not this cold. Okay. Acquisition of money. How can we really help you? What do you mean? I don't give a shit about the control limited hangout disclosure. Sorry, I'm really high. I don't give a shit about the control limited hangout disclosure. Oh, okay, about like what we talk about? Right. All the shills answer to realistic. Yeah, they do. Occultist Masons. Yeah, these people are evil. Straight up. I know it's a strange thing. It's so foreign to me how they are. Like, I watched a video, there was this guy, he was following Justin Trudeau and this other fella. And he was asking him about the jabs. And he had to tell him, like, this isn't a laughing matter, sir. Like, they were laughing. I gotta show you this video. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable how awful they are. They literally think that they're better, that their blood is better, made of gold or something. So all the shows, I love your discernment. Thank you. Well, thank you. I appreciate you being here. I know this is off topic. Hey, baby. I know this is off topic. I just popped in to say thank you. Thank you for your post. Thank you for all. And thank you for letting me know I'm not alone. Oh, thank you. That's really why I'm doing this. I don't want people to feel the way that I've felt, and I know how awful it is. I really feel like the whole reason why I started this channel is to help people understand, too, that we do have this other part of our lives. We're missing like 50% of life. And I feel like this is what makes life feel so empty, because there's literally a whole 50% missing of it, of our spiritual lives. Now, it's unfortunate that some of these people that have taken the spiritual life, and they are what I call them, not necessarily occultist masons, but esoterics, because it's their inner universe as they are presenting it as the outer, and it's a misrepresentation. What I teach here on my channel about higher dimensionals, lower dimensionals. Corey Good has this Ascension Works TV thing where he charges money to teach about what I teach for free. This is something that should be for everybody. You shouldn't have to pay $333. I don't want to live like a king or a queen or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to live like a god or whatever. I don't need to be rich. But these rich people do think that they are gods. These elites that take their little yacht to that fucking island. I wish the goddamn thing just blew up. Honestly, like a volcano. Oh, but why? No. Oh, okay. Keep letting them go. Anyway, but yeah, like, it's unfortunate how it's gone. And it's really screwed a lot of people over, because now if you don't have some crazy ass extravagant story, no one's going to give a fuck what you have to say. Or you don't have a fucking alien boyfriend. You know what I mean? Oh, geez. So thank you, because it is really hard for me sometimes. Sometimes I feel real fucking crazy, and that is never an easy feeling, even though you're trying to trust your intuition and love yourself and follow the path or whatever. God damn, do I look that pale? Shit. I feel like I look really pale. But it's probably because, like, I just haven't been eating properly. I should probably take my iron pills. I'm cold as hell. Maybe I'm just freezing from the inside out. That's why I'm so pale. Mr. Freeze! Yes, it was Mr. Freeze. Thank you. What did I call him? The Iceman? Yeah, Mr. Freeze. I think that my favorite Batman movie was the one where Catwoman was in it. Again, thank you, BB. I appreciate you being here. John, you hate snow? My Reynauds is... What's that? What's a Reynauds? I don't even know what a Reynauds is. No fun in the snow. What is that? Weather's trying to kill us. Yeah, it might be. Maybe nature's fighting back. It's trying to take us all out. Edgar Casey, Lacey, you are amazingly well read. Well, thanks, John. I mean, I really put in a great effort. When I heard Corey Good say esoteric religion, I was like, okay, what's their esoteric religion? I stopped being afraid, because for the longest time, I listened to the rumors where, like, Manly P. Hall and Helena Blavatsky, they're all a bunch of fucking demon worshippers. I'm like, hell no, I don't want anything to do with that. So I stayed away from it. But then when I actually got into it, and there's so much more, I didn't actually research into these people, maybe as much as I should have. But I do believe that it was fate that I didn't, because I feel like what I've taken away from their work is what you're supposed to. But I even found out that Helena Blavatsky has been caught for putting quite a few little scams and schemes, like paying somebody to throw a letter through a window and saying it's from beings from somewhere or whatever. Bullshit like that, okay? And I think that in such a competitive era, there were people having these stupid, what was it called? Photoplasms? What was that thing where they were saying that there was a thing coming out and it was that camera trick? Do you remember that shit? Photoplasma or phantom some shit like that. And it was such a highly competitive time and a market. And I feel it just goes to show that even the best of us can cave in and do some desperate things sometimes when you feel like desperate measures are needed. Also, someone brought to my attention that I couldn't find anything on it, unfortunately, because freaking jerk deleted all his comments, so I didn't actually copy and paste the name that he had mentioned. But he had said something about someone, some fella, I think it was a male, and that Helena Blavatsky and probably others, I don't believe that she would do this on her own. She did work in a group, that they were basically grooming someone to become the avatar. And you know what? At the time when he was telling me, I could probably see them maybe attempting to do that because of the times and even knowing for the future that it would be needed. like I was saying, you never know. But again, I couldn't find any information on it. So don't take it as factual, like 100%, because like I said, it's just something that this person said that I couldn't research. But I did think about it, and my intuitive feelings on it is that, it's kind of similar to what these people are doing. Maybe they think in some way that it is, like Corey Good said, one of the ways to get it out to the public. Like, but it's just a bit much and gone a bit far. I mean, I could understand, and it'd be forgivable, I suppose. You may not feel the same, but certain things could be forgivable. Hang on one second. Every past life, you can't just be a regular guy. Well, yeah, and that kind of is a red flag. I agree, Lil. I agree about David. And there's other people too. Like there's a lot of people that think that they were like Cleopatra or Nefertiti or something, or some queen of Atlantis or whatever. And I don't know. I think that may be a combination of things, like maybe not knowing and just giving it a name, or it could be spiritual psychosis, which is a thing, which is what David may be experiencing, honest to God. Yeah. I mean, I think that we can all fall into that if we're not careful, go down a slippery slope path that may lead us to believing things just aren't factual. I think a lot of fear about the calling motivated me to search for the Asura on the outside as an enemy on the outside of me, thinking that I needed to find them so that I could prevent them from coming up and hurting others, So, and that wasn't even the case. Like but sometimes we run down roads that, may not be the right direction, I suppose. But you learn from them, and I think it's important to make mistakes because that's how you learn, right? So whatever. Let me just keep getting this. Oh, thanks, John. Thank you for your compliments. It took me a long time. I used to think I was stupid just because, like, I wasn't good at math, and I had a really hard time, with bullying and stuff in school, but yeah, it is. I am grateful for everything that I've learned, and I mean, studying all of that, I learned exactly what these people are doing. Let me see here. Dig the car out. Snow. Hang on one second. Oh yeah, there's sometimes in certain places, like the cars are just totally snowed in. There was like, I guess, a snow apocalypse in Russia too. Crazy ass snowfall. I think it was in Russia. But thank you very much, John. I appreciate that. But it took a lot of work. I did a lot of reading. I watched a lot of videos. Sometimes I didn't understand it, so I had to watch it like 5 times. And like I'm still not an expert at things, but at least inside of me, like I can only do so much for others, and I do try, but essentially it is like a one person journey. We are like a barrel of monkeys, and we can all help each other, by hanging on and getting, up the mountain sort of thing. Like a barrel of monkeys all holding hands kind of. But it is for the most part, this journey you got to take by yourself, within. No one can go within with you. You have to do that alone. Yeah. Well, it essentially is, Lilith, like these elites, people that like the Zionists, they do think they're God's chosen people, and they think that everybody else is shit. And there are certain people with that mentality too. Like if you're not a certain religion, you should just, mm-hmm. Yeah, this exists. It's real. Mm. Mm. Oh my God, I love these. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Like when snow starts to fall, John says, I remember running like going for a run when the snow just starts to fall. Like as long as like the sidewalks are good and you can still have that good grip, I agree. It's nice and mild, a nice, beautiful, clear, a little boop, 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 boop. That's so beautiful. And I like going for walks at that time too. The air is so nice and crisp to breathe. It feels so good. It smells good. Snow's beautiful. It sparkles that comes down from the light posts, especially if it's nighttime. It is magical. Aligo says, I'm originally from Illinois. Brutal winters and cold there. I don't miss it one bit. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I was in Bullhead, Arizona. Have we talked about that before? When I was with my ex now fiance, we went to Bullhead, Arizona, and his auntie had this place. It was a friggin' palace. It had three levels, okay? And it was actually called Naja's Palace. Her house, yeah, it was so cute. It was right by the Colorado River, and we went swimming in there, and Josh got taken by the currents down the friggin' thing, and he just had to go with it until he could swim over to the side. The currents are like incredibly strong in the Colorado River. And I also saw a giant fish, but the weather was so beautiful, and it's very similar. Like that's where Arizona is, so I know. And when you look over the river, it was like desert. So it reminded me of Egypt. It was awesome. I was like on the third floor balcony. I had my own little room. Oh, frig. It was the best I ever lived. Yeah, but sometimes, like, even in California, you go to the mountains. Aren't there mountains in Arizona where you can see snow? Because I'm pretty sure that in California there was. Well, you know what? I was, like Lila said, the heat's blasting here. My nose veins are drying up. I was complaining about how the heat was on too much. And I don't know what happened. They fixed the boiler or something happened, and now it's just not the same because it is cold and the windows are all covered in ice and stuff. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, I understand what you mean now. Cellular. No, I didn't get my phone bill. I had to. Well, I didn't have to. It's not like I twisted her arm or anything, but Jamie got me some weed today, so I still don't have any money to pay my bill. I mean, this is what sucks. Like, my goal here is to one day, like, it just sucks. Like, how much money did they pay fucking Corey Good? I don't know. It's not about money, but I just don't want to fucking go hungry. I mean, maybe if, like, universal income or the fucking government does something, actually, I don't fucking know, but I really don't think that they're going to. So I have to figure something out because my books aren't going to make me any money. Not selling them through Amazon. And, like, I am already so overwhelmed with what I have to do. So, like, I don't know if Jamie will be able to help me with that, like, oh, I mean, like, even just sorting it out she can't make a website. Like, she even said, you're going to have to do all the editing and stuff for our podcast. That's fine, because I'm good at that shit. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I just want to say that it's not like I don't have any, like, bad feeling. Like, I feel like shit having to ask for help. It's not easy to do. My cats never go without, but, like, I'll sacrifice, like, well, this time I fucking forgot. I got my check last month on the 22nd. And I must have said, oh, well, I have a few days to pay it, and then forgot, but thought that I paid it. Because it's $89 a month, every month. And so that's all I'm behind. But if you don't pay it, they'll cut you off. You know? So that's just for the fucking internet. And then this house phone is $12. So it's like minus $12, and the rest is for the freaking internet. And that's it. It's not even like fantastic internet. Grateful for it, but it's ridiculously expensive. So yeah, it's just like the freaking internet. And that's how that happened. You know, usually I can take care of business, but because it's unbelievable, food keeps going up and up here. I try my best. I don't know. I finally got to have hamburger this month, but then again, you know, I fucking forgot to pay the phone bill. Thought I had more money than I actually did, right? So no, it's okay. I wanted to talk about it anyway, you know, because I had mentioned it before. And I did. I got a little bit of help. So I was able to get food, you know, but still, it wasn't enough. Like, you know, my cats never go without. And I didn't go and buy weed because I put resources where they needed to be, right? But, don't worry about it. Like, I don't know. Right now, I just have to live in the moment. And, you know, I don't know if you mean the shills, like the people that are, I'm not sure what you mean. I think it's like, you know, grifters and scammers and, you know, I don't know, but such a crazy thing. Hold on one second. I got to catch up here on the chat. I hope David feels comfortable enough to finally come back. I don't know if he's, I personally don't care if David's gay. It doesn't even matter. He probably, um, it just can't find someone that he actually has a real connection with. And I think that we could all relate to that in some way, shape, and form. But honestly, I don't know. If he is gay, we should pray for him that, you know, he will be comfortable with himself at one time and in this life. But hey, you know. So some of the Russian snow things were fake, but some of it wasn't. Some of it wasn't. That's the thing. Oh, Gargos retracted a message. I don't know why, and I can't stand it when people do that. But hey, how's it going? Any stone? The Flintstones. What? What do you mean? Welcome, Mark. The Flintstones? What do you mean? Like with Dino, the dinosaur? Yabba dabba doo. Is that what you're talking about? We just like medicine. No, seriously, I know my struggle with it because I don't like the fact that people think, you know, oh, well, she's on drugs. She's on drugs. And it like they automatically write me off because of that or think that things that I've said is because I'm on drugs. You know what I mean? Fuck that. Like it really does help me. You know, people and that's one of the reasons why I'm writing that fucking book. I know. That's another thing. I have been working on it though. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there were fake, some fake AI images. Yeah, I know, but some of it wasn't, you know? They got a shit ton of snow. Oh, that's okay. You know, just it just makes me a little paranoid. You know, like maybe you were mad at me. I was a little worried, that's all. Like, oh shit, is he mad at me? But oh, Jay Dreamers. We've talked about that before. That guy and his friggin' what was it called? Plasma Apocalypse gave me a fucking panic attack ages ago and I stopped watching his channel. He's nice though. He's a really sweet guy. He's a really cool, sweet guy. And he does have a nice channel. I remember that. Really nice. And he's a dad. I think he's married. He's a really nice family fella. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's got a cool channel, but I just don't watch him anymore. No. Like, I can't even remember the Flintstones. Like, the cartoon? No, I don't even remember it. No. The Flintstones. No. I mean, like, I'm not trying to laugh at you or anything. Like, do you think that I'm into cartoons or something because I use Sailor Moon a lot? Because that's about the symbolism, right? Yeah. I tried to explain that in a couple of videos. I might have to do that with all of them because that might be confusing to people too. No, girl, no. Sometimes if I disappear, like, okay, there are certain people that have been part of my channel ever since I started. And I have shut this channel down, especially years ago, many times. And I deleted my Telegram multiple times. It's like a self-sabotaging thing when I go through something like that, you know? And it took me a long time to realize what caused it and patterns and how to, keep an emotional and mental stability, in balance, and how to practice, ways. And it's not always perfect, like ways to balance out and, control my disorder. One of the ways that I do is with weed, and it's honestly a lifesaver. I can't deny it. It's unfortunate that it's made me so sick of lately, like especially in December and a little bit, in the beginning of the month. But thankfully, I haven't been sick since. But sorry, I'm distracted by chat. What the hell was I saying? Shit. It sucks though, because some people, you can't convince anybody, of anything. They're gonna have to, you know, fuck. I'm so high right now. People are gonna judge you no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you can never fully convince anybody of something, because they're not you. So imagine having to propel a car with your feet. Are you messing with me? I can't even tell if you're being serious or you're messing with me right now. The Flintstones are about the survivors of the apocalypse. It's illogical to even bother to drive a car made of stone and run with your feet. That's illogical. Why would you do that? Just fucking walk. Get in a wagon. You know? Like, why would you do that? Like, get a donkey. Get a dinosaur. I just don't, that's illogical. With respect. You're confusing me. This storm is a bad one. Welcome, Pasta. 12 plus inches of, yeah. Well, I guess there's like, some crazy ass snow apocalypse in the United States that everyone was getting ready for, and power's out in Texas and stuff like that too. Whoever said nature might, oh, it was you, wasn't it, Lilith? Nature might be trying to kill us. Well, sometimes, like, what happens is if there's certain words that are blocked, and if you get out of control, they will hide your comments from the channel. You know what I mean? Like, Elena Danan and all those people did that to me, you know? So when you ask questions that they don't like, or when you question them, it doesn't even have to be disrespectful. There's a lot of people that know this, and they don't like it because it contradicts their narrative, and people will start to think about things. That's why Michael Sala kicked me out of his fucking group. Well, it wasn't him, it was probably that damn moderator. But I am feeling better, thank you. I am, I appreciate that. The back street? You can look up Dr. Mew. Gargos, is that like a cat thing? Oh, which cat tree does Marvin prefer? She likes all of them. She sleeps on the tall black one. But they like, oh, that backstory, yeah. I was thinking you might have misspelled that. That one I didn't catch. I was thinking like Backstreet Boys. It's so embarrassing when I see the Backstreet Boys. I hear their songs. Now I just want to run. Yeah, but you guys were talking about the Flintstones like it was some type of conspiracy. So I was trying to think about like what could be logical or like symbolic about driving a friggin' stone car with your feet. I'd love a dinosaur as a pet though. I mean, not right now because I wouldn't want it to eat my cats, but unless it was one that didn't eat meat. Thanks, Gargos. I put on some makeup today. I washed my hair this morning, so it's still drying. Whee! But I feel pretty pale. You know, it is winter, but yeah, my hair. And then I gotta wait till it dries. And do I like it on this side? Hell no. But yeah, it gets on my nerves when it's out too. But Marvin is my kitty cat. Oh, so I don't know. They're quite old. I should get like new twine for it, but I just keep forgetting. I'll figure that one, the big black one's getting pretty old anyway, but I don't know. I've had it for about maybe 7 years now. Salem's 7 years old. It's pretty high. Goes all the way up there. You know? Somebody told me to clean my fucking house. Like, these are all like cat toys everywhere. Sometimes there's like a Walmart bag. It's over there now. Because Salem likes to play on it like a freaking sled. And then he'll slide on it, get inside, and the cats are like wrestling and you know, tossing the bag around. And I cut the handles so they can't get the handle around their neck. And they have a great time with that blue Walmart bag and a recycling box. Yeah, an Amazon box, but it was Jamie's. She brought over a package and opened it here at my place. And so I let them play with the box. My house isn't fucking dirty. My cats never go without food. Sometimes I panic that if I run out of money and I run out of cat food, well, what am I going to do, right? Because sometimes I give into Salem's obsession with food way too often, and I gotta stop. He's only supposed to lose 2 pounds, so we're doing pretty good. But he's still a big fat cat. You know what? Michael Solid does have evil-looking eyebrows. He does. He's got some wild-ass eyebrows, that's for sure. He does. That's what happens when you get older, though. My granddad had fucking hair growing out of his ear. Like, it was like sprouting out of his ear, like what? Like a chia pet. You know what I mean? So, they just get like hairy. You know? They lose it on the head and grow it in the ears and on their back. I don't know. It's just how life works. And then women hit menopause and they grow a fucking mustache. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. It's life. Can we get a fit check? The hell's a fit check? You could get a small Petrobras. That was one of the things I thought that was shitty about the Flintstones. Like, why would you need to use animals to do like your most basic tasks? I know it's a freaking cartoon, but I don't know. I just thought some of it was kind of cruel to the creatures, you know? Like, get up and change the TV station yourself, you know what I'm saying? Again, I know it's a cartoon, but I think I remember feeling that way when I watched the show. Like, why are they using the animals like that? Like, leave the animals alone. One show that I loved the most was Dinosaurs. I'm the baby, gotta love me. Remember him? That was so cool. That was such a cool show with those puppet people. Or like the costume people. Hey, Spooky, welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're well and had a good weekend. What's a fit check, Mark? I don't even know what that means. A chia pet. Yeah, like a freaking chia pet. Mm-hmm. Even when my dad went bald, he had like Homer Simpson hair. So he had like 4 on his head that like stuck up in the middle of his bald ass head. And he had like that Friar Tuck hair. So he only had hair like around this part of his head. And then it was like shiny bald right there. Oh my God. But yeah, he used to tell me stuff like that too. That's just what happens when you get through life. Had a fun weekend of wrestling. You're a wrestler? Like, do you do competitive wrestling or do you mean like WWE like wrestling? You know, like hoo, 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 hoo. What's up, brother? Do you mean like that? Yeah, the Dinosaurs was a great show. The Muppets were good too. I'm glad you like that, Alley Goes. Um, my weekend wasn't that blessed. I went through a horrible depression that just hit me out of fucking nowhere. But I think it was because I stopped my period. Like, my period ended and then my hormones dropped, and holy fuck. Like, I just fell into such a terrible depression, but it only lasted 3 days. I ran out of fucking weed too, so that might have been it. But I'm doing much better now. Thank you. Yeah. And it's awful. Like, I got to start writing down when I get PMS because, damn, like, sometimes I'm just so irritated and everything pisses me off. And then I forget that I've got PMS. So, you know, sometimes I can be a little bit more like, I'm pretty sure I said there was a bully on my Telegram and I was like, fuck off, you're stupid. I just didn't care. I was just rotten. Oh, fuck off. I said, you're so stupid. And I meant to. Yeah. So I'm doing a lot better now. Like, I'm slowly, I ate a chocolate bar. Hopefully I'm going to make some pancakes before I go to bed and, you know, just a couple of them. Oh, you're watching wrestling. Oh, really? My dad used to love wrestling, honest to God. He used to get so into it and he fucking loved Hulk Hogan. He had like um he had like this collectible wrestling doll. He had like one of them fake belts. Oh my God, my dad was so into wrestling and I just thought it was so fucking funny. Like, it's not even real. Like, what the hell? I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful, but that's never been something that I've been into. I will watch it, but I think it's just so funny. You know what? I was gonna say, like, you know, that really keeps a person in shape with, you know, wrestling as a like a sport. Like, I think that's really cool. You know, I actually dated a guy who was a wrestler, and he did it, you know, as all competitively, you know, through school. So I always thought that was pretty cool. And they had to wear those funny little costumes. Oh my goodness. I used to laugh at him for that. Sexy though, it's tight, but super dorky. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Fabio. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. Good to see you. Good God. Yeah, I wish I could share my pancakes. You know, hopefully someone will be around one time. I asked Jamie, I made like a delicious shepherd's pie. I got that hamburger, and so I make an awesome shepherd's pie, and I made to like, I made it with garlic bread, you know? And maybe next time she'll have some. But thankfully, I was able to eat the majority of it, but I did not finish what I had today. So I only got through like one piece of the garlic bread, which sucks. So I can't stand wasting food, but I couldn't finish it. I went back to her microwave because I brought it upstairs and I like microwaved it like quite a few times. And I was like, oh my God, it was so hard for me to eat. Lacey only dates elite level athletes. No, no, I don't. No. You know, that guy was like almost 300 pounds, you know, like he wasn't, you know, he was a very tall guy too, but he was a bigger man. It doesn't matter about that. I liked him for him, and it just so happened to be that he was a professional wrestler. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't that big when he was doing that professionally. Like when I knew him, you know, he hadn't done that maybe in a few years, but yeah, there was lots of friggin' photos and stuff. Like I never got to see him like wrestle or whatever. Just pictures, and it was really funny. In that little blue costume with the white helmet. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I'm not dating anybody. I'm not interested in anyone except one person. And it's totally crazy and wild, I know. But I'm good. How Christmas was without a family, husband, or kids. Oh, you know what? It was fucking fantastic. How was your Christmas without a heart or soul? That's so funny. You see, like I was saying before today, for a couple of people, we have a bully in the chat. What is it like getting old without a family? I wonder what it's going to feel like for you in hell when you're burned for all these things you're doing to hurt other people. Because there is a dimension of that, and you will get back all the evil you give out. You're not bothering me. You know what I mean? Like, this is just a fact. Yeah. Yeah, these are just bullies. You should see some of the comments I've been getting lately, but it's the same people with the same energies that have to create account after account, you know, because I keep blocking them. But yeah, this is what I was talking about. These people come in and they think that this is what's going to hurt me the most. So this is what they say, like that I'm starving my cats, my house is dirty, I don't have a family, I don't have any kids, I'm old, all of those things. You know what I mean? First of all, motherfucker, I'm not old, I'm ancient, so you should watch yourself. And you know what? One day, right now, there are people that are here that are my family. Fabio is my family. Amy is Lilith. Sorry, Lilith is my family. Spooky's my family. Cellular Sanctum is my family. You know what I mean? So you can fuck right off. You know, because yes, it is very hard to have been adopted and then tortured for 17 years, ending up in a group home, only to spend the rest of my life until this day all by myself. No birthdays, no Christmases, no holidays with loved ones. That was very excruciatingly hard, but it made me into the person I am today, who I love very much and I'm comfortable with. And what you're doing right now, like I told these people in the comments, it says so much more about you than it ever will about me. I do have a great capacity for love, but I also have a great capacity for like, go fuck yourself. So I promise you, like, this will come back on you in ways that you won't expect. Like, I'm not going to do it to you. You've done this to you. You know, we accumulate good or bad karma in this lifetime. And hey, I'm good, but clearly you are not with yourself because, like, yeah, it's just relentless. I'm an elite level athlete when it comes to eating burritos. You know what? Me too. When I eat, I can friggin' eat. You should see some of the plates that I've eaten on the live stream. Like, I can eat, and I do love food. It's just when this happens to me, my stomach doesn't even feel hungry. And it it's just a hell of a thing to try to even get hungry for something, you know, or have a taste for something, and then I'll try even eating cereal and it just puts me right off. You know, it's crazy. Yeah, I know they do. I know they do. It's okay, Lilith. Don't worry. It really doesn't bother me. And I can't be bothered to take my hand off my head to block them and they haven't said anything. So don't worry about it. Oh, thanks, Spooky. You know, it just shows about their own weakness. You know, they think that I'm weak, right? Like they think that, you know, just because I'm sitting on the living room floor, this is how they judge somebody's value. You see what I'm saying? But like I was saying, it just shows so much more about them than it ever will about me. It's annoying. Um, but that's just what happens. Sometimes I think that you get haters because they secretly wish that they could be like you and they never ever will, clearly, because that's definitely not something that I waste my time doing. Like I don't go and try and get into David Wilcock's chat and like make fun of him or tell him off or any of those people. I don't even give them any of the time of day. The last time I ever clicked on Elena Denon video for real was like when she was in that first Neptune shit, you know, so I don't watch any of her shit unless it's on somebody else's videos that they're covering her or whatever. Then I'll hear a couple minutes of her bullshit, but I don't listen to that anymore, you know? But yeah, like there are people like that. It's just because they want to bring you down. You know, they can't make things in life good for themselves, so you gotta make it shitty for other people, you know, hoping that you'll stop them, you know? It just is a way for them to get energy, make themselves feel good about themselves. So in a way, it's something that they need to do just to feel good to be alive. Imagine how much that sucks, because it fucking does. Guaranteed. I don't know. I think that it's just for in David Wilcock's case, I really think that his he's a con artist, he's a scammer. He knows what he's doing. You know, he purposely sat there and he cried about being SA'd by reptilian aliens in his living room, when even if that occurred at all, it occurred in the spirit body. And sexual assault in the spirit body in your dreams and stuff, that happens commonly. You know, there's lots of sources to which you could find information on that. Lots of religions talk about that too, that, you know, entities will mess with you in your sleep. It's happened to me, but you don't see me going around crying about it like Me Too. You know what I mean? So, and he did it to play victimhood, to get people to donate to him. And that's just a whole other level, you know? So, you know, I do agree that, because I remember Jay Widener said, you know, where the fuck is David's family? Well, he didn't say it like that, but yeah, I remember I was like, yeah, where the fuck is David's family? Like, no one's stepping in. He's literally saying that the Archangel Michael's fucking talking to him and telling him to bathe in his own piss, and nobody intervenes. You know, but he's probably like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. He probably just sues them to say whatever. You know, they're probably aware of the scam. But seriously, that fella, he does got some problems there. And I think that over time, that, you know, because of his failed predictions, he probably truly believes some of this stuff, you know? And there is some truth, like the astral travel and spirit body travel. That's what his magic pajamas are about, you know, like that people call, you know, he saved those pajamas because that was one of his first times he remembers being in the spirit body, and it is very real. So I can't say that the experience probably didn't feel very real, because it did. It feels just like, well, you can sometimes have sex in the spirit body and it feels real, just as it does in your physical body, for real. Everyone's had a sex dream, you know? So, like, you know, and sometimes it might look like a celebrity, but it's not. It's one of these fucking parasitical entities. But it is, it's a thing. It's totally a spiritual thing. But it's crazy that he acts like, you know, like crying like that. That's wild to me. Like, I've been through a lot, but still, like, that's it. Technically, it's just a dream. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't happen to you in your physical body. So I don't know. Like, that would be very scary. Like, that sexual violence is terrifying. I know, but I don't know. Maybe we should just drop that part. But yeah, there's something wrong with David. I exposed. Oh, did you? Oh, thank God. You know, she's something else, Elena Denon. She's something else. It really fucking fucked me up when I was so excited that her and Megan Rose were friends. You know, I was different at one time. You know, I really hoped for a physical thing with this, because my life had been real shit. humans, like, I couldn't make friends. I felt like people didn't like me. So I thought, well, there's got to be something else out there. Maybe I can make friends somewhere else. I know it seems wild, but I just, oh gosh, it's just such a terrible thing to do to people, you know. And I don't like the fact that people think like I was gullible, and I wish that they could understand. Like, I wish that I could show them at least why I even got into it, because I'm not a stupid person, and I'm not like, I guess I can understand what, because a lot for the longest time I thought that being called a vulnerable person was an insult, but I guess I was vulnerable, you know? And what I learned from it is that it is a mistake looking outside of you. The more I looked within, the more I learned, you know? I really have to protest that Claudio Nocelli is different, though. And I will always say that he made this creation that I went on an incredible journey of learning, and it taught me so much inside of myself, because it's like this inner outer universe thing. I don't know, it would show me so many things that I didn't know. So I don't feel that he's personally the same. He never claimed to be in anything really, and he did say that his work was fiction. So I don't know. I know I got a crush on that guy, but still, like, it was a pretty extraordinary thing that I went through with that, and it just transformed my whole world. It saved my life, really, you know, because I was in a terrible place after finding out that so many people had lied about this cosmic con thing, you know. And I was here I was wondering, like, what the fuck had I done wrong? And they chose Corey Good, people like Corey Good and Emery Smith. I just never got a good feeling off of them, even though I tried to be respectful and be like, because I wanted people to believe me, right? So why would I just automatically not believe others with their experiences? So I never really thought that people would lie about something so important. You know, if it was so world changing and life changing for everybody, like, who the fuck would lie about it? Like, and I didn't have these great big extraordinary things, but I was so happy that I had what I had. And what I would, I wish all the time that craft would come back and I could get a photograph. Now, photographing the Asura would not be possible. I believe that was the only time that it gave, you know, because I don't give it the power and energy that I used to, right? Because I didn't know what it was. And there's a big thing about that. But at least having some type of proof, and these people, they've got none. That's what makes me mad too. Like, how can people, after so many years and so many excuses, like, there's not a picture, there's not a hair sample, like, no real picture of this Thor hand on this, even on the same topic of Elena Denon. Where the fuck is he then? But there's a bunch of fake pictures of her and him together. This is an imaginary fucking relationship. It's wild as shit. Oh, so thank you, Spooky, because I've talked about this on my channel before many times. If you guys have not seen Dark Alliance, it's about the Cosmic Con here. I'll go and get the link for it, okay? This is such a great documentary and expose. It really sheds light on just because the people in it aren't the Dark Alliance. Really, that's why I call the Corey Good, Lena, and David, all that. That's the alliance of bullshit, with including Alex Collier in them, right? Emery Smith, everybody. That's the alliance of bullshit. But their terminology is like the Dark Alliance, I guess. So I watched this. I still haven't seen the second part yet. I keep forgetting, but I've been going through a lot of shit. But here, just let me get something here. Oh, it's called the Dark Alliance: The Next Generation. It was still on my... So here's the new one. Spooky worked on this. And I did talk about that before. So this is the Dark Alliance documentary. And it's really good. The first one was really good. And I even forgot that Jordan Sather was in it. And I think it's just because I don't have any personal experience with him. Like, it's not like he fucking did anything to me or lied about anything. I didn't know that he was also, like, kind of a victim of the whole thing. Right? So, but he's in there too. Okay, let me try and catch up in the chat here. Well, you know what? For some people, it's not. And I think for me, Spooky, I couldn't comprehend it. Well, my ex-best friend years ago told me that I had to stop assuming that everyone else had the same heart as I do. Because I really did. And sometimes I still do that. And I have to remember that they don't. You know, there's some truly evil, awful people. They'll steal, they'll lie, they'll pretend they'll do whatever the fuck they can to climb themselves up to the top, even if it means stepping on you or deleting you completely. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's people like that. It's wild, I know, but it's true. Yeah, Apple TV, the inside story of the Cosmic Con. That's the first one, the Dark Alliance, the inside story of the Cosmic Con. And it really is. It's fantastic. And I do look forward to watching the second one. I know you got to buy it on your phone and watch it on your TV. We'll try and work this out. Oh my God. And in the beginning of it, there's friggin' Tony Rodriguez with shifty ass eyes because, like, fuck, like, they must think, like, everybody must know this. Like, oh, and yeah, good. Good. Maybe lie their fucking asses off. Look like a bunch of tools. Dickheads. These people are really terrible. They're taking it away from other people. They're making themselves seem like, oh, like Elena with her, I'm the galactic ambassador, the only one, you know, and raising yourself up above everybody else is fucking awful. It's idolatry. Oh, no problem. It was great and it helped me a lot. You know, it was nice to know that there was fucking people doing something about it because I didn't know what to do about it at first, you know, and I remember it was Lilith that was like, why would you even give David Wilcock money? Well, years and years ago, like back in 2012, I didn't know what the fuck to do about anything. And here he is telling me about this great world cabal and like there's all these evil people. And yes, there was things that I did learn. And, you know, went to go through my own learning from hearing a little bit about these, you know, evil dark societies or whatever through him. But shit, like they just went off on this crazy ass sensationalized stories and nonsense. And it's because you have to keep making shit up to make money or people will get bored of you. It's, oh, what a fucking mess. But it was really wonderful to know that there was people fighting back because sometimes it truly feels hopeless. It makes me feel like I said that now everyone's going to think that the whole thing is just bullshit and none of it's real, you know? And that's truly unfortunate for everybody, you know, because like I said in the beginning of the stream that I just started here, we are missing 50% of our life. Like your sleeping life is another part of life, and a lot of people disregard it totally and completely, you know. But again, with the whole magic pajamas with David, that's spirit body travel, and you will go in as you go to sleep. So if I went to sleep in this tonight, this is what I'd be in my spirit body. And if you're naked, like I was sleeping for the first way too long of my life, I was always naked in the spirit realm, and I always wondered why. That's why. For real. So I wish somebody had told me, because then maybe I would have put some clothes on, you know, maybe not shown up to battles and been like, okay, let's go. And people are like, oh, hi. And people are like laughing at me and I never fucking knew why. And I'm not messing with you because that shit's embarrassing. Like I was going to war nude with hairy legs. Someone should have fucking told me we were spirit body traveling and that was spiritual life. That's rude as shit. For real. Anyway. So yeah, it's a great documentary. Please go watch it. With a being in Corey's form, yeah, they will. See, they can shapeshift. They can. They can change into anybody and look even just like you. Yeah, they can. And that's what shapeshifting is, but it's an etheric, energetic thing. You know, it's a spiritual thing. But yeah, I believe you. Spooky says August 2017, I had an out-of-body experience. Is that what you mean? I'm pretty sure that's what you mean. OOB? Yeah. during the worldwide meditation during the eclipse, and I had an experience of the being in Corey's form, I was told it was easier for me to take the message in that form. Yes, out of body. Do you mind sharing what it said? Because after I finished after I finished reading David Wilcock's book, The Ascension Mysteries, okay? I wrote about this in my own book. I got really tired. I read his whole book in 1 week. I hadn't read books in about 10 years, you know? It was a once loved hobby, and I had just like given it up, you know? Huh. Well, I'm going to continue about what Spooky was saying, but and after I finished the book, I knew it wasn't really David, but it was something in David Wilcock's form. Looked just like him, but he had like totally blue eyes. Like there was no white. It was like sapphire blue glowing eyes, okay? And it was just like empty, but it was almost like blue, sparkly, like universe type. Like there was no eye, but it wasn't fucking creepy. They were kind of glowing. It wasn't creepy, I swear. And he walks up to me and he literally fucking patted me on the back, like, good for you. Like, and there was a feeling of being proud, but I knew it wasn't him, but it was in his form. I wrote that in my book, and that's 100% true. And we met in this space that was totally white, but I believe this was some type of entity. And I think that, especially with the Ascension Mysteries, because when I found that book, I didn't know David Wilcock smoked weed or dealt with depression. So this was something that got me to read the book, because I remember, I tell this story. I was flipping through and I just happened to open to the book where he talked about this, you know? And so I don't know. I don't regret reading it. I think that everything that happens for a reason, you know? But like I said, I can't defend the things that they've done. I just can't. Okay, so Spooky says, yes, it was an out-of-body experience. And this entity said, if you want to continue to do the things you want to do, you have to stay at a high vibration. And that is true. It really is. Like, I got in such a low vibration, and then I had this thing attack me in my dream. It went after Salem. They always do that because they want to destroy what you love the most, because this is what will cause you the most pain and suffering. And then they can feed off of you. Yeah, they will. They'll go after your kids, your loved ones, especially your pets, because, you know, people know this causes great agony. Oh, yeah. One of the bullies today talked about me losing Mister. See, the demons try to get you wherever they think they can hurt you the most. But I've already seen Mister in the spirit realm. I know I will see him again, and he is fine. He was the greatest soul that stayed with me for 15 years of my life. I will always love him. And damn, like, that's a fucking low ass blow. But they will. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I wonder, like I said, I saw that Ascension Works TV. It was like a commercial for it, like an advertisement they had on Hips. And I realized he's teaching about higher dimensionals and lower dimensionals in there. And I'm like, what are they fucking doing? You know? Like, if you really want it for everybody, like, I don't know that many people who can afford $333. You know, I found another fella just recently, and he was making fun of Elena Danan, and then and it was for $289. I remember it specifically. I just looked not long ago, and he only has 3.5 hours of footage, and there's only 4 thingies to click on, like little teachings. He wants $289. Okay, let me read this chat here. Magic pajamas. No, girl, it's like spirit body travel. It's a real thing. Some people just don't understand. And there's even some people that are different levels of their spiritual understandings. I missed a comment from Cellular. It says, in the UK, Carrie Cassidy's, fucking Simon Parks, along with Miles Johnson, tried to push the sham of super soldiers. Says, yeah, I know. I covered Max Spears. James Cosbolt. I don't think because see, technically Max Spears was a soldier, but it's in the spiritual realm. He didn't do any of this in his physical body. He did this in his spiritual body. I covered that in my videos with Max Spears and Sarah Adams. Yeah. So I'm not sure if Miles Johnson is aware or not, because I even heard Jay Widener. I think he really thinks that there's a secret space program, and I just don't think there is. I think it's complete nonsense, not the way that we may imagine it, and it's probably run by these higher societies, breakaway civilizations, and all that shit. And I don't think they. I don't know. I haven't met them. I don't know, but I don't know. But let me see. Like, I'm not sure if they all are really in the club or they've just figured things out and they figured a really convenient way to make money, off of it, because there's so many people that want to believe in aliens and all of that, and they just take advantage of people's ignorance, I guess. It's called, in this esoteric religion, it's called prospering at others' expense. So, okay, but Elena has a sister that animates Thorhan and makes her videos, is so cool looking and hypes you up. Elena Denon has a sister? How the fuck do you know that? I didn't even know that. I have no idea. So it's Elena Denon's sister that animates Thorhan and makes her videos? Yeah, the family's in on it because they're probably profiting off of it. Like, if Thorhan's real, fucking produce him. He could pop into your live at any moment, give you a great big old French kiss, smack you on the ass, and then leave. Why not? Why not? Why not? Same with Helen Morris. If Helen Morris is real, Claudio Notelli needs to produce her. I just find it so weird that he even went to meet her in a warehouse. Guy didn't get a picture, no photograph. Like, they wouldn't realize how important that was, even for him, to have proof. It's bullshit. Just like sometimes I get annoyed that craft never comes back, so I can't get a fucking picture of it and be like, see, you guys, I wasn't fucking lying. I'm not crazy. Okay, so... Okay, the New Age topic is one of the most conned groups because of the often non-specific... Yeah, I know there's so much gray area, right? Yeah, there's a lot of traps with it. And unfortunately, I said, for me, I just really didn't think that people would lie at all. Like, not even a little bit, or exaggerate in any way, shape, or form, for whatever. But I didn't realize, just how profitable it was. Like, it's actually shocking to me that, Corey Good made $750,000, making money off of the same things that I've been teaching on my channel now for 6 years, for free. And that's probably why he saw me as such a threat, because he wants to make money off the same thing that I'm teaching people. Because as I was learning, I mean, it's not like I went out to harm these people on purpose. This is just how my journey went, and I actually documented it. So I definitely am not caught up. Okay. I missed some comments. That experience locked me into the Corey cult stuff. Hey, you know what? Maybe it was an entity trying to get you into that shit. Yeah, I don't doubt it, Spooky. Spooky says, that experience locked me into the Corey cult stuff. Makes me wonder, was it a tulpa or something? Yeah, I think that's a word for some type of like shape-shifting trickster type of entity. I would agree with you. Yeah. something of the unseen realm that wanted to feed off your energy or lead you away. See, what even happens to these people is that they have to focus on all of their bullshit. It takes them away from the path of their own divinity. And I don't think they realize that. And that's what I was getting to, because I know a lot of people don't like this. Even I'm not even religious, but I can't deny that a lot of these teachings of Jesus that have been inside of me, right? Like I've just always believed it. That's why I have such an issue with like putting money above people, the one thing that money can't buy is love, and that's why you need to focus this, right? Like my self-love was a lot of what gave me this ability to heal and grow and develop this kind of higher consciousness, like I'm not, and I don't mean that in because at one time I was of a lower consciousness, right? So over time I raised my vibration and my consciousness this way, but if it wasn't for self-love, I wouldn't have done it. But the point is that I think that people have more love of money than love of love. And people definitely are beneath profit. You know what I mean? Profit is always number one, you know? But no, like I at one time I had money and I lived in California. I wanted or needed for nothing, but did it change anything or fix any of my problems? Absolutely not. Love, unconditional love, acceptance, compassion for myself and others was what did that. And I can't always have that sometimes. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect or I'm anything like Jesus Christ like that. No, fuck that. Because, clearly not. But the lessons and the teachings of that I do feel were very important. It even talks about that. Rudolf Steiner talks about that in the esoteric teachings and Manly P. Hall as well, that we can learn a lot from that. And that's what I was looking about what Jesus talks about with money. And in the end days, they talk about how these people, so it was a guidebook and I think it was all planned, but it may just have to work itself out. But I do believe that it is this great battle of good and evil. There is truth to that. And so these beings want to lead people away from gaining this higher consciousness and this true knowledge, because this is what sets you free from not having to come back to this world. That's why it's called a prison planet, In a way, we will all have to complete our reincarnation cycles, and eventually you just don't have to keep coming back to this place. But it really is a school for souls, and we all are developing here in consciousness, mind, body, and soul. I think that a lot of one of the most difficult lessons for the old souls, as they call them, and you are probably one of them, Spooky, and this is why. If never anybody's ever said, "Oh, you're such an old soul," well, this is what it means. That you've probably been around the reincarnation cycle quite a few times, and this is why they prey on people like us, because you have a potential to do good in the world, but they want to lead you astray and think that, because like I said, I didn't understand what I was doing wrong, and well, why didn't anybody choose me for a secret space program? The military's never shown up at my door. And it's not about jealousy. It's just I couldn't understand what I had done wrong, since I had so many similar experiences, but not that. But I didn't realize that shit wasn't true the way that it's being presented, Like Corey Good may go on these spirit body travels and go to different places and stuff, but presenting this as real life, I have no interest in playing a live action role play. I don't want to play pretend. I want to be me and celebrate what is real here, not things that haven't happened. I don't want to make shit up. That's ridiculous. Okay. I met this being on the side of a mountain, non-specific. Yeah, they can go anywhere or appear anywhere, or really get you to see whatever they need you to see. There's different levels and different strengths of them. Holy crap, my hair is getting on my nerves. But yeah, there really are these parasitic entities, that will feed off of us. They have to take the energy to remain here in this dimension. It really is dimensional. If you ever see ghosts and shit on the side, this is the fourth dimension. Your peripheral vision over here. And this, the fourth dimension, is the spirit realm. Okay. Wilcock, like late Edgar Casey, are both. No, they're not. Edgar Casey was not a Lush or an Archon. Edgar Casey helped a lot of people. David Wilcock and Edgar Casey are nothing alike. That's an insult to Edgar Casey. He helped a lot of people. He could diagnose people's illnesses from way far away. He helped save a lot of lives. And that man's work still does today. Okay. Like David Wilcock and Edgar Casey are not comparable. That's almost an insult to that man. He probably rolled over in his grave. No, they are not the same at all. Yeah, but I do agree that David Icke, okay, so the thing about David Icke is that he really did try to tell people. I don't know if he exactly knew how to explain about the Claustrum's oil. Like, God knows I can't, okay, but Kelly Marie Kerr can, for example. And she has some books on Amazon, and she also has a YouTube channel, Kelly Marie Kerr, Kerr, okay? And she's absolutely a wonderful, fantastic teacher about the Claustrum's oil, also known as the Christ or the holy oil. Now, when they say one has been anointed in oil, this is what they mean. This is part of the Kundalini process, and it goes up through our chakras and all of this. And when it reaches the crown, this is your kingdom. Yes? Like the kingdom of heaven. I've made many videos about this as I was learning it. But again, I'm not an expert at these things. But David Icke definitely did know about the Christ energy. I don't know if, like I said, he knew about the Claustrum's oil process to be able to describe it, but I'm sure that he knew about it. And I don't know, I made a video about him where I had said that I wonder that if maybe being laughed at by those people, it really hurt him. And I think that genuinely he probably did want to help, and then realized that it might just be better off and more profitable to make up this invisible enemy called reptilian. Yes. Even though there are some truly cold-blooded evil people out there, I suppose that you can compare them to something like a cold-blooded killing type dinosaur. You know what I mean? Lizard person. But that does have to do with the fire elementals in the esoteric religions. Under the elementals and their inhabitants, they would be the salamanders, the beings of fire. So that's really where all that comes from. And unfortunately, well, not really unfortunately, it is just a thing. They are a lower dimensional entity, which is a chakra thing also, because the dimensions also match up with our chakras. So it's like an inside-outside thing in a way, but they are lower dimensionals. And at the sacral one, which would be orange and that kind of a level, so that's why a lot of them are so rapey. Yeah, because there's a lot of that, and that's why. But not all of them, but there is a lot with that. So there are beings like that, and I think that a lot of people don't know that, and they might be more affected than they even realize, Okay, let me see what's going on here. Okay. Wilcock. Okay, okay, we got that one. He submitted them to court on accident. What? Submitted what to court? Hang on, I must have missed something. Hi, Echo. I must have missed your comment. Hold on a second. Tulpa Mansing is real? I don't know what that is. Let me see what a tulpa is. I may know it in a different word. Tulpa. Oh, it's a thing on Reddit? Well, there's lots of things on Reddit, though. A magical creature that attains corporeal reality, having been originally merely... Oh, this is an egregore, hun. Egregore is, again, look up, hang on. Esoteric egregore. I'll read it to you. Egregore. I think there's 2 G's. This is Western occultism. So an egregore is a concept in Western occultism referring to a non-physical entity or thought form that emerges from from the collective thoughts and emotions of a group. So basically, technically, maybe Elena Danaan wants to create Thorhan by having everybody believe in him and giving energy to that, right? Like it could be a group mind thing influencing the individuals within the group, and is often seen as having an independent existence in magical traditions. Yeah, I thought I would know it in a different word. That's an egregore. So that's basically, and we all have this. So it's like, you know, when in symbolically in cartoons, they'll represent it where you have an angel and a devil on your shoulder. This is your higher consciousness, or your deva, your higher self, sometimes they call it. And then you'll also have an asura, which is your lower self, or your demon on the inside, which it's like would push you to do naughty things, you know. And it's not always really terrible things. It might be like, oh, it's totally okay to steal from them and pretend you're like just like them to get to the top, so everyone thinks you're the best. It's totally fine to tell everyone that you're the only galactic ambassador and blah 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 blah, and that you're on the fucking bloodline of Anu and all this crazy fucking nonsense. You know what I mean? This is the demon in you. Yeah, a psychic entity, egregore. So yeah, we were at the same thing. I did not know the word tulpa. Yeah, fire and air elementals. Yeah, so in the Secret Teaching of All Ages, there's this chapter called the elementals. Shit. Not that. It didn't say shit. Hold on. So this is where I learned about the elementals in earth, air, fire, and water. Now, I did have a video on my channel, but if Corey Good found it, then he would have struck my channel again. So you can go and watch it on Rumble. And it's called Exposing Aliens and Those Who Speak for Them, where I break down the elementals and how I compare them to Elena Danaan's beings and stuff like that. She has all elemental entities in her book saying that they're fucking aliens, okay? But there is a very important chapter in this book here, The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. Again, I found this book here because Claudio Nocelli posted just the picture of this. And as you can see here, there's primordial fire and ice. But he posted the picture without like the title. And so I Google searched the image and found this book. And that's how I found this, by the way. But please post the Rumble link. Yes, I will. I will go get the Rumble link right now for you. But there is a chapter in this book called The Elementals, the Elements and Their Inhabitants. It's on page 279. Hold on. Uh, 269. Nope. Hang on. 279. You see? This chapter. I also have, there's a PDF version of this chapter. Oh shit, like I use it so much that the fucking pages are falling out. But you can read this direct chapter that's I've gotten for you just on a website, so you can read it on your phone. You don't have to go find the book. Yeah, I'll go and get the Rumble link for the video that I'm going to talk about. It's excellent, and it really sucks that he did that to me. Like I had forgiven Corey, like to a certain degree, and I was so grateful he'd fucking told the truth in that deposition. I was grateful. It really, that's what helped me. Not fucking telling me about a fucking secret space program. That's bullshit. And like acting like you're some type of fucking super soldier. Fuck that. Sorry, I'm cursing so much. So here's the link for this video, okay? That's the one about the elementals where I show like beings from Elena Danaan's book and go over earth, air, fire, and water symbols and all that kind of stuff in there, okay? Let's see. And they, okay, hold on one second. Having met David Icke and his son, yeah, I wouldn't believe he was a very nice person. I like totally believe you that he's a fucking asshole. He looks like one. Nice people in real life. Yeah, I believe he's spooky. Nah, David Icke's a fucking asshole, Lil. I tried to explain to you about him. Something happened to him when they did that to him, laughing him off that stage. Didn't I show you that video that I did? Where he tried, and they tried to make him seem like he was trying to say that he was Jesus, and they were all fucking laughing at him on that TV show. Yeah, that was awful, man. That was even hard for me to watch. Yeah. And so something happened to David Icke. Like, he's not, no, girl, no, he's not a nice person at all. And I could feel that, and I believe spooky, you know? Yeah. These guys really worked hard in their research. You got to watch these documentaries if you haven't, Lilith. The Dark Alliance, the Inside Story, the Cosmic Con. These people are not lying. These are their real life experiences, and it's awful. You know, it really is. They were good people with good hearts, and they were taken fucking advantage of, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting what was done to Jay Widener through Corey Good. Like, it's awful. You have to see what these people are like, and it's not just Corey. It's not just him. They do awful shit. Simon Parks is a fucking asshole too. I don't like him at all. No. He's, oh fuck. I think he's like one of those black magician, man. I'm not fucking with you. I know it's really hard for some people to see that at first, but then when you see some of the research, I think it was M. Seeker of Truth does. Holy fuck. Holy God. It's bad. Like, I told you that I struggled with the Asura and, you know, some really dark feelings, like with the culling and shit like that. We went over that. You know, I struggled with it too because I didn't know how that would go down. You know, I've talked about that so many times, but damn. So yes, the fire and air elementals, there's also earth and water. See, they are Jinn. Jinn are beings of the unseen realm. And this is what we're talking about. If you, there's a movie called Elementals. It's a Disney movie. Those are elementals. And it is symbolically the beings of earth, air, fire, and water. And this is what this teaches you. Again, primordial, fire, and ice. Because ice is the most negative state. So we're like most positive to most negative. This is a very symbolic picture, which I have gone over many times before. Okay, I just don't have the fucking energy right now. Okay, so let me catch up with the chat. I apologize. Okay, not talking to me. They were, yeah, okay, yep. I believe that David Icke is incredibly rude and anti-Semitic. See, I don't think that maybe, because, okay, there is a section of Kabbalah mystic Judaists that use symbolism and allegory to bullshit people, okay? And they've done this a lot with the Bible. I've gone over this as well. This is going to be a difficult one for people. If you listen to Kelly Marie Kerr and you really hear what she says about the Claustrum's oil, because she used tons of Bible quotes, she breaks it down for you. William Donahue is another person that breaks down the symbolism and allegory of the Bible, okay? But none of it's true or historical fact or event, okay? Jesus was not real. The Christ is. Jesus is a made-up story, and it is symbolic of the star seeds travel from the base of the spine to the crown of the skull, okay? So that might be a little bit difficult for some people, but yes, that is factual. But you can learn some incredible things from those two people that I just mentioned. Okay, let's go up here. Yeah, the Wogan show, that's right, where David Icke was on, and that was probably a pretty terrible experience. I know, but some people are just such babies. They can't handle cursing, and they will think you're a terrible person if you curse. As the person who redacted that deposition, yeah, it did. It really, really did. And you know what? I was really happy. Like, I didn't need to know who his family was, the personal business, da-da-da. No. All I needed to hear but like the esoteric religion, people believe false things all the time. What was it? I've never been to space. It's part of my meditative spirit. Oh my God, these things have burned into my brain. That was so fucking important to release. And I pray that those people are always protected that did that. I'm not saying that you did, okay? Because it's a mystery. But by the grace of the divine creator, that was given to us. And that's a fucking miracle. And that's why he wants it to go away. It did. That helped me. That helped me so much more than any of that cosmic disclosure, secret space program bullshit. The truth truly does set you free. And it fucking pisses me off that that bastard came after me after I had just gotten over it and I fucking forgave him. But you know what? Forgive and forgive and forgive because it's only going to hurt me. And with that being said, I need to do it. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Shit. I'm gonna have to wrench this fucking window open though, so I apologize for like the fucking noise. Oh, it's pretty good now. My heater's working. But at least I can get this damn window open. Just a second. Fuck. All right, so let me catch up with this chat. I need some chapstick. Okay, let me see. Okay. Yeah. Like, okay. I was thinking in the kitchen before, I didn't want to get too emotional, but honestly, this has nothing to do with money for me. I don't want a dime for this, but I've been so upset that especially when Corey Good was suing everybody, I thought, you motherfucker, like, I should sue you for emotional and mental distress because I can't tell you how many times that these group of people, like, it's not just him. David Wilcock had me crying at the fucking grocery store every fucking time. He would say, oh, the cabal are going to be arrested. You're not going to have any power. You're not going to have any water. They're going to close all the grocery stores down. Your pets aren't going to have anything to eat. This guy was driving me fucking mental. So I believed in him and I would go to the fucking Walmart and I'd be like, I don't have enough resources, like money and to be able to buy canned food if I can't cook. You know what I mean? They made me want to delete myself, Spooky, many times. And I know that sounds weak, but I was going through so much emotional turmoil. I wanted to figure out what was going on with me, and they really mind fucked me. What these people have done is vile. And not only what they've done has disgraced the actual spiritual realm and the truth of it. It's taken away from people what they deserve to know and have. It belongs to them. It was a gift given to them by the divine creator. The other half of our life. It really is. And A lot of people have had experiences with this, but you know how people speak different languages? Well, it's almost like we see it in a different perspective. And like I said, remember I said the tulpa? I was like, it sounds like an egregore. So it's the same thing, different wording, right? And this is what a lot of these people do, is that they use play on words, symbolism, and allegory to trick us. Yeah. So I just had to get that out, because I would sit in a courtroom. I would get sober, I would dress nice, and I would tell the fucking judge exactly. I would have to write it probably, because I just get too emotional. But I would write it, and I would explain to a judge just how much it messed me up. You know, these people don't understand the damage that they're causing, and we may not be able to hear from some voices because they may have actually deleted themselves from going crazy over it. There's a fella right now. This is why I called Claudio out, because there's a fellow right now who's making videos addressed to Helen Morris, who's probably not even fucking real. And he's over there reeling in his mind about it, making YouTube videos addressed to her. Probably sent him into a fucking spiritual psychosis. I don't know if these people think about it or not. You know, so, and it's not right. Well, if they didn't make it, then I guess they weren't strong enough. No one deserves that. I didn't like it being done to me. So why the fuck would I do it to somebody else? That's what the cabal and the elites have done. Why the fuck would you join them? And I'm not saying that's exactly what he's done, but in a way, like I said, people are thinking this Helen Morris is real. And if she isn't, that's a fucking problem. Okay, let me see here. The more I see how a book connoisseur, cellular. The more I see how a book connoisseur you are, the more I think you should open a Patreon. Nah, hun, everything's free. I have so much free information here. I've put out, I've done a lot of work, okay? And I know that a lot of people don't have the time. Like, being ODSP on disability, right? And having the disorder I have has, in a way, been a blessing to give me the opportunity to do this research. And I share it freely with everyone. I just hope that they do the right thing with it, but not everybody's gonna. And that's just life. But they'll have to deal with the consequences of that, going down those darker paths. You know what I'm saying? And I realize that. But it's something that I just felt that I should most definitely do, you know? The knowledge is free, and that this is why, you know, a Patreon or whatever, nah. You know what I mean? Nah. Well, I mean, like I said, I do have a PayPal available. It's in my post section on my community tab, okay? I can't be bothered to go get it right now. If you really want to do that, and, you know, if that's what you're thinking about, like, you know, so that I can pay the phone bill, you know, the PayPal link is there, but it's really not required. This is something that I enjoy doing. It's mutually beneficial. Like I said, I do appreciate the help, but this is not why I do it. You know, I really wanted this gift to be for everyone, you know? Yeah. I know some people can't understand it as a school, because I think that a lot of people do struggle with the fact, like, why the fuck would I be put here in such a terrible place, you know? But like I talked about in many of my videos, this age, the Kali Yuga, which is a cycle of time, it's just this way. And it's almost the greatest opportunity you have to grow, you know, when there's things not to struggle through. Like I said, we have to make mistakes to grow. Well, it's almost like struggle and pain does lead to extraordinary growth and expansion of consciousness. And so being in the Kali Yuga is quite the gift, even though it seems like you are actually in hell, you know? Mm-hmm. Yes, I know. But it is something that, that will pass, you know? I have spoken about Teal Swan, you know, I have. Lilith just said, you know, and thank you for that, Cellular. Like, you know, thank you for feeling like, you know, it's worth more. But see, the thing is that, like I said, For me, the greatest feeling in the world is when one of my subscribers, this is an example, will come to me like NYLA, okay, New York, LA, and we talk about the Kundalini and Kelly and how much Kelly Marie Kerr's work has helped him, and under my suggestion and just the things that I've talked about, not just her, but for me too. This makes me happy that this excels them in their progress in some way, or helps them fill in a missing piece, or is able to answer a question that they've had. This is the benefit for me, because I know that, you know, with every person that gets closer to this same type of process that I've been through, this is how you truly have great change in the world, when you have the change within the individual. Like I was saying about these people, this is why I tried to make an appeal to the heart and soul of Corey Good, and I did make a video called that. Did he watch it? Fuck no. But I did try, you know, where I did express that I was grateful that he told the truth, and he shouldn't be ashamed to have done so. He shouldn't hide it. He should have went with it. You know, used as an opportunity to be like, okay, if I ever really made people think, because if he says that he told people that a lot of this stuff was made up in his book, his Spirit Being Alliance Bible, or whatever he called it, his intellectual property, for fuck's sake, you know, then why didn't he just go out and run with it? I mean, he could have easily soared to the top with the truth, but he can't, because he's already really fucked over Gaia. So he's really put himself in a terrible position. You know, he should have done the right thing and apologized and made right with Gaia right away and figured something out. Make a public apology, tell people that that wasn't true, to clarify it properly. I would have, you know, if I'd fucked up like that, that's what I would have done to make it right. You know, I'd be like, you know what? Like, first of all, it's just the stuff he's done, though. He probably would have never. He literally stole a story off of Jay Widener and tried to make it his own. Like, Jay Widener made like a movie or a movie script or whatever. And there was Corey sitting there telling it like it was his story, like it happened to him. And Jay was like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Oh my God. I would have been beside myself, especially if that was like somebody I knew or my friend. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. And Jay shut that shit down real quick. But like, this is the type of stuff we're dealing with. So I think there's something wrong with Corey. Like, I went through some pretty horrific things when I was growing up for a long extended period of time. And maybe he dealt with a lot of abuse at home too, but we definitely did not turn out the same. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe his heart went dark, and, you know, I just refused to let myself go that way, you know, even though like sometimes when I go through those depressions, like, damn, that's hard. But, you know, I always come back. You know, which I'm always grateful for. But yeah, Teal Swan is another one there. She tried to pretend like, again, this is why, like, it sucks, because I used to feel sorry for her, because she talked about being in like a satanic cult, and it turns out that she wasn't at all. You know? And then, in a way, though, I guess it kind of made me feel, and I don't mean this in an insulting way whatsoever, but I guess it made me feel what I went through wasn't so bad. In a way, you know what I mean? Like, it could have been worse. Like, they could have been like, you know, in a satanic cult. And I never experienced any sexual violence, thank God. And it's just awful. Like, that's, oh, let's not go there. But trust me, that's one crime that I'm not sure I personally could forgive. You know, if I got my superpowers, I would definitely be lightning blasting pedos. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, anyway. Teresa spoke about Corey and his wife. Teresa Yana Rose spoke about Corey and black magic. It's why she ran. And yeah, they do. I talked about black magic in one of my videos not that long ago, and how that kind of energy works. It comes from a dark heart, right? It's not that magic's evil, but the user and its intention and sending out to another. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yes. I have to fight that kind of stuff all the time. I feel it coming on. I know when it's coming. And this is why it's very important to stay in a high vibration, because it can't touch you. That's why it got me when I got into a depression. They'll get you and come at you until you fall into a time like that. Like at the end of my period when my hormones go all fucky, you know what I mean? They'll wait. That's why I was saying these bullies are like trying to hurt me at the most, like trying to pick away at the fact I don't have a family or kids or a husband, like my baby died, you know what I mean? Shit like that. So, yeah, black magic is a thing. But you also have to remember that you are much stronger. Like, I don't think Corey Good's stronger than me or his wife. Fuck that. Not at all. I could take all of them on, and I did. I called out Alex Collier, David Wilcock, Corey Good, Elena Denon, all of them, all at once. Like, I fight all of them all at once, just me. So, he ain't shit. But this is how you have to feel. The divine creator has your back, won't let that fucking degenerate hurt you. But if you do fall into a lower vibration, they will have a way in. They will. That's how that happened to me the other night. Yeah. They went right after Salem too, because they know that I love my babies the most in the world. Smart. I know what you're doing. There's people that actively watch my channel that just hate my fucking guts, And they wish they could be me, but what they're doing right now is pushing them further and further and further away from ever being like me, ever. Yeah. Okay, shit, I gotta catch up on this chat. Okay. Right. I think she's mentioned Teal Swan negatively. Yeah, Gargos remembers. At some point. No, it was me. I did. Yeah, no. Like Teal Swan is something else too. Another one. She's said some very dangerous things and made people think that deleting themselves is a okay thing to do. It's almost like hitting a reset fucking button. And let me tell you something right now. No, it fucking ain't. Okay? That's a very dangerous territory she entered. Just like I've always said, or I've said previously, oh yeah, William Donahue. Yeah, he passed. Pavel. But you know what? He's resting in peace. He's having the time of his afterlife right now, for real. I'm sure that him and his wife are absolutely fine and having a great time in the eternity. I promise you. So they are just fine. Cellular says Simon Parks and David Icke are both. Oh, yeah. I would think that they're in the club in some way. I could see it. I could see them giving in and eventually, keeping the secret type of thing. And this is why they do the whole alien reptilian bullshit. And Simon Park was this Q fucking nonsense and all that bullshit. It's funny. I don't like to talk about it, and it's provable. I actually went to M Seeker of Truth about it, and he fucking didn't take me seriously and came and made fun of me about the Power Rangers, actually. But remember how I told you I was sexually assaulted in the spirit realm by a reptilian being? If you don't know this, I've told this story before, and this is how I know that it does happen in the spirit body. And sometimes they will look like themselves, these creatures, to like scare you in a negative way. And it was in my behind. Okay. And I've never had physical backdoor sex. Okay. I don't know if I'm actually going to talk about this, but, and it felt real. Like I could feel it in my butthole. That's how real it feels. And so it's not like it hurt or anything. Like it wasn't exceptionally violent, but I have experienced something like this, And it happened right after. So I had contacted the Canada representative of Connecting Consciousness, which is Simon Parks's little network thing, okay? Because what I was going through with the Asura, I thought it was a jinn. And I learned about the jinn through this thing with Simon Parks. Like I didn't know it was a Muslim religion thing yet at that time. And these were also, he was talking about like shadow entities in the bedroom. And I was experiencing some of these things. Okay. So this is how I learned about Simon Parks to begin with. Anyway, there was this guy. I still have the emails. I think his first name starts with a C, but I can't remember. But I still have all of the emails. Okay. After I'd given my information, this fella from the representative of Connecting Consciousness said that he would forward my information to Simon. It was right after that I was sexually assaulted in the spirit realm. Now, I'm not directly accusing Simon Parkes of anything. I just think that that's extraordinarily suspicious that happened. And I didn't see the being from the neck up, which I thought was very weird. And I wonder if because these dark magicians will shapeshift, and I wonder if they would shapeshift into like a reptilian type of being, because this is what it was, right? This is how I knew David Wilcock was full of shit, because this has happened to me before. I'm like, that was in the fucking spirit body, like 100%, and it's not like I think about it like me too, because you know what? It didn't hurt. Like, not gonna lie, it kind of felt good. I'm not saying that it was consensual, because it was still to me an assault, because it was non-consensual, but it didn't fucking hurt. I kind of like, I liked it. You know what I mean? But it's a very kind of fucked up feeling. And now I know, like, that's how sexual assault can feel sometimes, because sometimes, it might feel a little good, but you definitely didn't want it. I couldn't even move. I was in the spirit body. The only thing I could move was my head. And you'll hear a lot about this with alien abduction, is that they couldn't move anything except move their head around a little bit. Well, it was fucking exactly like that, but I was on my side on like a silver table, like an alien abduction scenario, but it wasn't. This was in the spirit body, and they were just literally fucking me around. It's a disrespect thing. It's to show power over somebody else. You know what I mean? So they very well could be, keeping the secret in that way. And that's what these secret society people type do. I mean, they might have just given in and been worried, like, that, telling this kind of information, whether no one would believe them, or they might get, offed for it. I don't fucking know. I'm not worried about that at all. But who knows, Hang on. What do you think about Zeptepi? Oh, the Ouroboros. Yeah, okay. So the Ouroboros spooky is here on this book. Do you see it on the inside? And this right here, the mountain, is Mount Meru, but this represents you as a person. This is the reincarnation cycle. This is the wall that holds us in the dimension. Here's the lower dimensions and the higher dimensions. This is the eagle, the bird that flies the most high. And these are all the spiritual beings of the higher realms, but they're represented as animals, yeah? It's extraordinarily interesting, but the Ouroboros is essentially the reincarnation cycles over and over. There's a saying that I totally believe in, that things will happen again and again, but they will not happen the same way twice. For example, I know this might be a bit much for you, but I do have past life memories. I didn't know what they were for the longest time. I used to call it the Atlantean age. Turns out it's pretty fucking similar to what they say the antediluvian age was, with like giants and shape-shifting creatures and all that crazy shit. You know what I mean? Giant trees, all of that. People having superpowers, being able to shoot lightning out of my hands as an electrical discharge that I can control, that has to do with the aether, which is a external energy source. It's basically God as a consciousness, not as a physical entity. Okay, quite complicated if you're new to that, but basically what it is that before I didn't understand where these memories, where all of a sudden everybody just started killing each other one day. Okay, all the entities, including myself, went to war with each other, and it turns out there was a messenger, and I guess it was the angel Gabriel. Now, this is all written in like the Bible type of stuff, like Enoch, in the story of the giants and shit. Eh? But what I'm telling you is now is that it's the same. Now, I was trying to warn everybody before, but they wouldn't listen, and then it all turns out that we all end up going to war again against each other, and that's where we're at. It's just different. Now it's an intellectual war. Now it's a kind of a war of wits, of what people can make up and bullshit about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even though I'm not bullshitting and I'm playing a different type of card hand here, one that they have not seen before. And that's on purpose, because the divine creator made this happen. I didn't do any of this on purpose. Like I said, I found that book, how I found that book. It was just by coincidence, and I decided to look into the esoteric religion and just not be afraid anymore, So I don't mean to freak you out or anything, but that's what I feel about the Ouroboros, reincarnation. It's almost like I said, this is a school for souls, and I feel like our soul will go through different grades, just like we have a physical school system here. And sometimes if you do not complete the grades, you'll have to go back and keep going. In the esoteric version, there's something I found called initiation, which does explain, it's actually in my book, but it is on my channel. It's deleted off the internet, unfortunately, because they wanted to hide it. Because it really does express about the levels of consciousness that we reach. And even to explain it, like level 0 is people who have no belief in the spiritual life whatsoever, atheists, people who believe in nothing at all. And they really do not. And this is basically level 0. And then there's level 1, 2, and I believe that I am at level 3. Okay, Helena Blavatsky made it to level 4 before she passed away. So this is something very interesting that I always encourage people to look at, because it does give it this different perspective where you can see it as like a grading system in a school, and then you graduate out of here and join like college and university, yeah, where we just have different jobs and exist in a different form. Now, this enters into extraterrestrial alien UFO activity, into the unseen realm and the other dimensions, or the interdimensional realms. Now, the elementals, let me explain this to you. Elementals would be like I said, the fire beings. So if they go into a volcano, this is why we see UFOs going into volcanoes a lot. If they go into a volcano but then switch dimensions, now they're in their home. We could go in right after they went in and we wouldn't be able to see them, because now they are in another dimensional space. And it may look totally different from what it looks like to us. You see, these are the inner dimensional spaces, the spaces in between spaces. This is where they live. But there are other beings that have reached certain levels of consciousness like us and combined spirit matter, and then did this strange evolution thing where I don't know if they died or if they're still alive, but what I do know is that there was that craft above my building. I felt a higher consciousness being, very, very strong telepathic connection, that someone was fucking staring at me back when I was looking at that thing. So there has to be some type of higher advanced civilization. There really does, because that was nothing, that couldn't have been somebody from here. I would be shocked if it was. They could be us, but they could come from these other places too, right? How the fuck did I go off on all that? Sorry. So Jesus, the Bible is fake. I agree. But you're not a tear. Wait, cellular what? Jesus, the Bible is fake. Well, yeah, Jesus is a symbolic made-up story. I mean, the Christ is fake, and the teachings of Jesus are still good and right. Like, do unto others and all of those, they still apply, and I still agree with all that. I think that as a teacher of unconditional love, Jesus is king. Okay? It's not that I don't know the spirit of Jesus, but it's still a symbolic and allegorical story. I also know the spirit of Sailor fucking Moon. So really, I mean, to learn, you can learn from anyone and anything, but Jesus is a great, great teacher, if not the greatest. And I learned so much from that, just from that one spirit of the Christ is very real. I've had some incredible experiences, through learning unconditional love. I've got an incredible experience that's going to be in my new book, but it is a symbolic story of my experience and understanding with the Christ and unconditional love. I think it's pretty beautiful, and I'm excited to share it with people, But thank you. I'm not actually a queen. I guess I'm a queen of my own heart, but I don't think I'm anybody's queen except my hopefully one day husband. Then he can call me queen. But I do appreciate you appreciating me, and I thank you for being here, Cellular, as well. Truth is absolutely meant to be free. I agree. But it's so unfair that the controlled opposition agent's making, yeah, I know. I think that overall, like everything, it has some purpose, in, you know, the cycles of things, you know, because even though there's larger cycles of time, like when I was on Stephen Campion's show, there was like an open panel. Spooky was there. That's where we met. And this guy was talking about the golden age like it was like something that was just gonna like pop up one day soon, you know. He didn't mention about the Kali or the yugas and the cycles of time or anything to do with, you know, Vedic cosmology or what the hell, their way of seeing the universe. Yeah, it's cosmology. Yeah, and it's just so bizarre. Like it's almost like they do that on purpose, you know, to kind of bait you into like this utopia type false hope thing. I don't fucking know. But it is pretty terrible that they do gain so much attention from others. And you know, like there's people that have been believing for years and years, like they only got as far as the starseed thing. And they never figure out the Claustrum's oil and how, you know, none of it. And it just it helps you, like how how Jesus says you need the eyes to see and ears to hear. Well, through this process, this is what I've really gained. So this is how, I mean, I'm not an expert at this type of stuff, but this is how I can see things like I do now, right? And be able to translate it in this kind of way. But it was just it pissed me off so much that they do this and they didn't really take the time. I don't know, I can't explain it. Then he's like, yeah, I got werewolves. Fucking, you just have to watch it. I think it's traumatizing me so bad my brain tries to fucking forget. What remains after the end of life? Memories? No, dude. No. You can literally combine your consciousness so that you live forever in a new spiritual body. You combine body, mind, and soul. I know this sounds wild. It's a lot for some people, and I don't blame you. It was a lot for me when I first heard about this stuff. My fucking neighbor from my first building here, not this where I live now, a long time ago in like 2010, turned around and was like, you know what? There's reptilians underground, and the government knows about it, and Jesus Christ might be an alien. And I was seriously in mid sip of my tea, and I'm like, oh, so what the hell was I supposed to say to that? You know, it was one of the craziest things I've ever heard. But honestly, I don't want to hurt my friend's feeling, but there is some truth to that. Jesus is a higher consciousness. There are beings of the Christ, which are these beings that have reached higher consciousness. They have raised this Kundalini energy to the crown. And this is your kingdom of heaven right here. You choose what heaven is for you. I believe that. I feel like a lot of these people have taken their spiritual lives and their inner reality and brought it out to the outer to make it seem like it is real life for them. When in fact, I mean, it is part of their life, but no one's getting into a spaceship and flying off with the aliens. That's totally fictional and false. It's not happening. But there is. I I know for sure that I'm not going to disappear after I die, that we do live on. There are other worlds and other places. It's another state of existence. You know, energy doesn't just disappear, friend. We are energy, it transfers. You know, it turns into something else. You know, like when lightning hits the ground, it just transfers into something else. But energy never dissipates, it never dies. It just transforms over and over. And that's what we are. Our consciousness is an energy, you know? And essentially, we are a physical thought form of our divine creator. Every single one of us was an idea, was a reflection of the original. Have you ever thought of the word God? I've always loved that, you know, You can say, I thought of this one the other day, Governor of Divinity, God, Governor of Divinity. It is the governor of all that is divine and all that is. Or I like this one too. General Operating Director. Some people call it the Grand Architect, the one that came up with all things and all ideas before we've ever thought of them. This is where it comes from. This is why it's called the source. Yeah. I made a video the other day. What did I say? However, because there's lots of YouTube channels that'll say, hi, everyone, it's me, just like I do. But what does that actually mean? Has anybody ever noticed? I did. What did I say me stood for? The master entertainer, and we are all channels. Was that what it was? I forget, but something like that. I'm pretty sure I recorded on a video, so I might be able. I didn't like the whole video, that's why I didn't post it, but I do have a few good bits from that one. But that's where you are, and that's where you return to. This is what the aether is. It's an unseen energy. I mean, there is a process of creating yourself, your own spiritual body. It's almost like putting together the pieces of a puzzle, okay? And it is very important. It almost like it is you constructing the key to your own technical immortality. This flesh must die. It always will. Everything dies. Everything has a life cycle, just like there are the ages and cycles of time. We have life and we have death. I think that a lot of people are so terrified of dying that they think that they can fly off with the extraterrestrials and live forever. Yes, this may not be so. But you can almost like you will have to put together the building blocks of this foundation. They're in these teachings. And I mean, where would I direct you first to? Rudolf Steiner does a lot of really good work about the consciousness. There is it's like the etheric, the astral, the mental body, because sometimes you'll have these spirit body experiences where you'll be fully conscious and be able to control your movements, thoughts, feelings. But sometimes I have found during my lifetime that I would have certain states of consciousness where I'd be training certain areas, whether it be the emotions or the mental. Sometimes I wouldn't be able to control my body, but I'd be able to control my thoughts, you know? So there are different states, but they all have to come into alignment, these things, you know? I'm sorry I'm not better at expressing it or being able to explain it to you, but I think that we're all going to understand this in our own individual way. And I think that is, and feel that's a very important part of it. But I promise you, it's not all that remains. It's not just your memories. It's you. And that's why you have to be totally in love and good with yourself. Like, I could live and look like this forever and not give a shit. I really could, because I love myself that much. I wouldn't have to change anything. I wouldn't have to need anything else. No plastic surgery, blah, blah, blah. Nothing like that. And I could stay like this forever. I really could. Immortality fucking sucks, like to be alive forever. But if you keep your heart in a good place, I think that it's doable. And it really is about reaching your consciousness to a place where you can be comfortable with that. But it's also an inner and outer thing, an inner and outer process. So I will try, let me see. What I would say is maybe start with Rudolf Steiner. He's quite good. This book is awesome. Ouch. How long have I been live? Oh, okay. It's only been 2.5 hours. That's not that bad. Let me see here. Akashic Records. You know what? I think the Akashic Records is how they say that just some things carry on in the blood. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. And that's why, you know, you see a lot of these extraterrestrials or whatever, but they're not. They're following bloodlines for a reason, because it probably goes back with their own, and they're probably looking for people that are compatible that will eventually join them. Like these kind of breakaway civilization things. You never know. It could be both. I do believe that past civilizations have discovered interdimensional travel. Like, we have discovered it over and over and over again. And then, certain peoples have left in the past interdimensionally. No one's going to outer space, but they could travel interdimensionally. And what that means is sometimes in different dimensions, time runs faster. So technically, if you go into a faster timeline, you are from the future, because your timeline is moving like at a crazy fast rate compared to ours. So like 15 minutes here could be like 5 years there. You know what I mean? So that's what we're dealing with. So, I mean, technically, the beings that I saw were here in 2017, that craft over my building. For them, it could be only a few minutes passing to come, depending from where they're coming from. And it's been what, since 2018 till now. I'm so high I can't even count, but do the math for me, please. But that's what I'm talking about, time. And they probably know how long it is, but they probably also realize, I've thought about this before, that I needed time to figure it out. So, yeah. That's what I feel that is. It comes from the blood. I believe that it's, your ancestors pass it down. It seems such with even just the entire human race. Like, we were created down a line of beings that came before us, So we do have this kind of mixed blood now of all these different civilizations, and we've, built ourselves to what we are today through that. But it comes in your blood. That's where that record is. And I think, like how memory can be stored in water, well, probably memory can be stored in blood also. It would only make sense. Here, let me see here. Okay, so soul's memory and such. Yeah, I believe that's what it is. It's held within your energy, and maybe it's your energy that activates these things. I don't know. I can only theorize. I'm not telling you like absolutes here. But that's basically what I would guess. I think that maybe me and Jamie talked about this, how I've heard this before too, is that through trauma and pain, it can unlock these things within you somehow. I don't know. Maybe there is a change within the blood. Like, if you watch Kelly Marie Kerr's stuff, like I suggested, there is an alchemical process that happens on the inside. Like, even over the years, I've been transforming on the outside physically a bit, So it is this like inner and outer thing. I don't really know if it goes anywhere, honestly. I don't even know how I feel about it at this point. I think I really just need to be good with where I'm at and not hate it so much, kind of be at peace with the fact that I'm here in this life and enjoy it, learn to enjoy that. I think there's a lesson in somewhere in there for me personally. But yeah, a collective oblivion. No. I think that there is a great multiverse. We may not be able to see it, but I've always believed in that there are many worlds and many different kinds of people, and it just may not be exactly how we thought we could access it. And this is, again, why do you think that they call Area 51 Dreamland? This is exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of this stuff happens when you are sleeping in your dreams. Doesn't mean it's fake, but there's this certain type of body you can create. It's not a fucking joke. I know I am not great enough at explaining it, but I'm going to try. It's where you combine spirit and matter. And literally the aether is an unseen energy. It's like the wind, and how the wind causes, what the fuck was I talking about the other night. I should have wrote that fucking down. The wind cannot be seen, but it is only felt. And you can see its effects on other things around it, right? But you can't see the air as you fucking breathe it. But it's still there, yes? This is the aether. And I'm pretty sure there is aether within us as well. It's a mind, body, soul thing. Your mind literally directs this happening. It's not exact. Well, kind of. Well, I thought it into reality. It is essentially an egregore that works in directing energy upon the self, I suppose. I don't know. I haven't exactly got that fucking far yet, have I? This is pretty much all I've got. Well, yeah, chaos magic is a problem. I did a video on that, cellular. You know, I can't speak for everyone. I don't know why some people give in to things like this, or because I remember there was this man who had done a video like star seeds feuding. I had linked it, and then he literally privatized it because he was calling out Elena Denon in the nicest way you possibly could, like being like, why are star seeds fighting when we're supposed to be united and all of this? And he was going over the drama with Megan Rose and Elena, and it was fucking great video. And then he just took it down. And then he made his UFO thing, and now he's all about aliens and all that. They learn they can profit off of it. So I do agree. Like, I don't think she was. I don't, Lil. I don't think that Teal Swan was MK Ultra either. I think that maybe she even thought, had convinced herself she was in a satanic cult, or she just disliked her family so much. You know what I'm saying? There could be anything, but I don't think. No, I just think she's a jerk. She's super smart, but these people use it for the wrong reasons. I mean, in my personal opinion. Well, you can't be the hero in everybody's story. You know what I mean, Lilith? That's what I mean. Not everybody's going to love you. Hold on a second. Ooh, I have to catch up on the chat. I'm sorry, everybody. Christ consciousness is not male, Rob. Not male at all. It can be male and female. Okay? It's not. There is the Shiva Shakti, divine feminine and divine masculine energy, but the Christ is the combination of masculine and feminine energies, left and right, heart and mind. That's what the Christ consciousness is. That's what when He-Man goes, by the power of Grayskull. Grayskull is black and white, left and right, heart and mind combined in the skull, which is the kingdom of your castle. Yes, this is your castle. That's Castle Grayskull. Black and white combined together is gray. The sword of truth, the power of the divine is the lightning. That's what that represents, y'all. So, like, that's what Christ consciousness is. It's technically a superpower, sort of. Just not the kind we think it is, but it's definitely not directly of male aspect of creation. Sorry. I mean, the Claustrom's oil teaching is, pretty eye-opening, but it's not the male aspect. I disagree with you. Grew up in JW, walked away from the church, but retained loose framework. Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I haven't learned and appreciated the teachings of Jesus, and it talks about these people. I just looked that up because I was like, what did Jesus say about getting rich at the end of times? I think I might be able to have it in my search parameters still. What did... Hang on. Maybe I'll just look at my search history. Give me a second here. I'll show you exactly what I found today. Did Jesus warn of getting rich in the last days? That was the question I asked. Yes. Jesus warned about the dangers of wealth and greed, particularly in the context of the last days, emphasizing that hoarding riches can lead to spiritual peril. See, like, these people are always going to have to be chasing money. They won't be able to make this connection with the divine. It goes on to say about how you cannot have two masters. You cannot serve God and money at the same time. And a lot of these people are serving money. They're not serving God. They're not telling the truth. They're not being honest. They're being shady as fuck and doing whatever they have to get rich, right? Rise of materialism, economic happening events, all that time ago. I don't know why my hand is stuck on my head. It says, in the second letter to Timothy, the Apostle Paul warns that in the last days there will come times of difficulty, like we're experiencing now, marked by increasing selfishness and materialism. He writes that people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant, and abusive. A lot of these people want to protect their secret space program shit because it makes them a lot of money, and people each other all the time over money. You know what I'm saying? Paul warning that attachment to money and possessions will increase, with people boasting about their wealth and looking down on others. Like, if you've got more money, then they think that they're better than you in some way. But really, you can't take this money with you. The only true spiritual value is the richness of your soul. And they don't want you to find this. They want you to be chasing material wealth, not the actual wealth of, your immortality. They want you to keep coming back here to do their rat race and go to work, slave for them in their prison planet shit. You know what I mean? But here, I'll give you the link about this and you can read it. Jesus warned against materialism and getting in the way of serving God. Yeah, no one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You could serve God or the general operating director and money at the same time. Here, I'll just give you the link. It was pretty cool because I was like, why is it like, Anyway, here. So the teachings of Jesus are helpful, but I still think the Bible is a guidebook, it's also that they planned this, yeah? It was all planned. How can consciousness survive the dispersal and recycling of energy? Well, that's why we forget our past memories. We do get a clean slate when we come back. That's why we forget everything. You know what I mean? From our previous lives, or at least we're supposed to. I believe that what I remember is a learning lesson for this life, and so that it doesn't repeat. I believe it was actually a gift and somewhat a curse, so that I learn to not do some of the things that I did in my past life then again, now that I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I did learn from the Vedic teachings that we will build up our good karma here, and we can kind of spend that as a currency, as our time in these beautiful, higher dimensional spiritual realms in the heavenly afterlife, yes? Not only can you have the kingdom of heaven here in your head while you are alive, you can experience in these other dimensional, higher dimensional realms. And I mean, really, it's... I'm tired. But let me read your question again. I'm really sorry. I'm falling behind big time. Oh, yeah. The recycling. So, yeah, I mean, it's almost like the washing machine. You get clean through that way. It's also a way of the rinse cycle, cleaning cycle. And it does, in kind of a way, it does. I mean, you are now free of the things that you did in your past life, right? Like I'm not guilty of those things anymore. And I think, like, for example, my parents beat the shit out of me every day. In my past life, I really now truly feel like thou shalt not kill is probably a pretty serious offense. And, I never did. I never fought back. I never hurt them, even though I knew that I could when they were beating on me. So, I've changed. And I think that, again, I had to go through that lesson to see if I would or not, to see if my spirit truly had been cleansed. You know what I'm saying? But it is all wiped clean. This is why we have no memory, you know? But if it's necessary, some people will. I don't believe that you remember the whole thing. I think that would be really, really difficult, probably drive you absolutely crazy. It was really hard for me to remember how things were before, because clearly that's not my life now. And, there's a lot of people who laugh at me, make fun of me, and think that I'm fuck all, even though that's not the way I see myself. I'm like sitting on the living room floor, think I'm like broke ass fucking loser, but that's not the wealth that matters to me. It truly is the richest of my soul. Like I said, I still want to eat and survive, but I don't need to be wealthy. It's nice to travel and all of that, but when I die, I want to go back to the cosmic womb. And you can. There are certain places that's like almost like a spirit hospital. And you can go there and recover and rest for a while. Just rest your consciousness. And it'd be like a cosmic womb. Quiet, nothing going on, no one bothering you, and you can just rest. You don't have to reincarnate right away. It doesn't work like that. You probably have some time. There's a really, really good movie that gives example, about what happens after death, in the afterlife. A lot of people talk about in their near-death experiences about a life review. Well, this movie is called Defending Your Life, and it has Meryl Streep in it and some other fella, but this is how you can look it up. It's from 1991. You can watch it for free on BitChute. I'm pretty sure it's still up there. And it's pretty cool because it shows you how some people just will not know how to work their spirit body, that the spirit body is controlled by the mind, by thought, everything that's happening in this type of way of consciousness. Because you got to remember, you don't have your physical body anymore. So you're using your mental energy. This is why a part of this whole consciousness development thing is aligning your mental, emotional, and this like etheric consciousness to become something more, but in the spirit. I realized there was something to it because not all dreams are the same, and some of them feel extraordinarily real. Some people that have flying dreams, well, you're flying in your spirit body. Yeah. So let me just see here. Have you read Simulacra and No, I have no clue what that is, Spooky. Sorry. I could look it up if you want me to. Whoa. Hi, Stu. Sorry, I'm really far behind on the chat here, okay? Let me see here. We got 10 inches of snow here. Hey, Shadow Files, how's it going? In Jersey. Oh, wow. 10 inches of snow, eh? As long as it doesn't, like, turn off your power and fuck shit up too bad, like, I hope you guys get to enjoy it a little, at least, Snow can be fun. As long as it doesn't, like, get too terrible, or the car crashes and shit. But that is a lot. That is a lot. RH negative blood type. What was that? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it has to do with fuck, I don't know. Maybe it's like a lower dimensional thing. Maybe that's why some RH negative blood types could be like, I've heard people have Rh negative and then have contact with like grays or reptilians and stuff like that. And maybe it is just, lower and higher dimensional beings. But then again, lower doesn't necessarily mean negative. And all beings, like just like us, we can become higher dimensional or a lower dimensional being. It's all about choice of will, So I'm personally O positive, Um, but yeah, let's see here. Hi, Stu. Yeah, I said that already. Yes, I do. So most necessary, okay, I'll just call you most necessary. Do you feel that the trauma you've experienced in this current life is debt owed from a past life? Yes, I do. If so, how can one's consciousness be responsible for the actions of another? Because we're the same consciousness. My past life is the same person as I am today, just transformed and different. The consciousness remains the same. If this is the divine creator as the sun, we are a little sun, a small piece, like a flame, a fire, a piece of that, but we're still part of this original source. We are a thought and idea of that consciousness. It doesn't ever go anywhere. We might return back to source, but will always be that same energy, even though we might have a different face on us on the inside. That piece that came from here always is the same, and it will return back and will go back out. We may not carry the same face, but it's still the same source. So we're working with the same on the inside, like almost like Play-Doh, and transforming it over and over and over again. And maybe it will be washed clean, but the same thing, you're still working with the same substance and source. Do you understand? Does that make sense? I hope so. I mean, it's not, I feel like we are always responsible. It's just how things balance themselves out with karma and dharma. If you don't make up for that, you don't really learn from it. I know it seems fucked up. But even though that's awful, I learned so much about people, my parents, I learned a lot about evil and darkness in this world, and it gave me a great ability to have empathy and understanding to a degree, for my fellow human being. I believe that in a way it has helped me to understand myself and to stop certain things from happening again, Like, it's always been very important to me to never, ever be like how Demon Debbie was, my adopted mother, I write a lot about this in my new book. But yeah, you are the same consciousness, It's not like you just get recycled in that way, Like, I'm always going to remember my cat Mister, my dog Dixie, everybody that I've loved in this life. You'll remember them. You do. Even if not by their name, but by the way that they feel. You see? They may be in a different form, but you'll always feel it's them. Yeah. This is why I said it's a thing that is felt. It's unseen, like the wind. That is the divine creator. It is a piece of all things and is the start and the end of all things. Just like I was talking about, the life and death cycle. And I think it is very difficult for a lot of people to accept death. But it is part of a cycle and a process of you. Thanks, Stu. Thanks for the apple. Cloud Atlas movie, karma, all connected, past lives, future lives. Yeah. And so you are truly creating the person that you will become, that already exists in the future. There may be different ways, you can go left or right, dark or light, and we will play different roles in different lives, Everybody's going to be the bad guy at sometimes, and you will be the bad guy in somebody's story, regardless of who you are. So it's just these different. That's why sometimes they'll call the divine creator like the god of 1,000 faces or whatever, many names, because it's true. Eternal return recurrence, exactly the same unit of consciousness, individualized. It's always you, or at least the feel of you, and how metempsychosis works. Complex. It is. But it's almost just like the building blocks, almost like how your DNA has been built. You are building it on an external outside level. Like I said, like a foundation of a house, and then you're building it up until your home is complete. It is a non-physical spiritual representation this way. You have components of the house, the plumbing, the electrical. Well, we're dealing with the nervous system, the adrenal glands, the chemicals, the pituitary and the pineal gland. It goes all through our organs and all these things. We're having a physical and spiritual transformation. To what end? I don't know, because I haven't gotten there yet. And when I get really depressed, I freak out and be like, oh, it's only when we're dead. Oh, we gotta wait till we die. Oh. And I get really fucking upset about that. So I apologize, because I'm not 100% sure, but it fucking seems like it. And I'm so upset because, this life has been pretty shit. And I just hope that there would at least be something to make up for it. Like if I didn't find my kingdom spouse. And I mean, again, this would be a match in the mind, body, and soul type of thing. Like I expressed before, that's where your kingdom is. And so I don't know. If it's not that, it would be nice to be, with that, whoever that was on that ship, as long as they're not a bunch of fucking evil assholes, it'd be nice. It would be really nice to join those people. But I don't know. Aligo says, that is correct. There is a strong familiarity towards something that you have not been exposed to in this current life. Yeah, for sure. I remember when I was young, because in my past life, I spent a lot of time in the East. Now I'm reborn in the West. But before I was born in the East, this was a long fucking time ago, right? It was different back then, but that's where it was. So I would see Eastern cultures and stuff and not know why the fuck I loved it so much, and the land and the people and all of that. And I miss a place that I've never been in this life, and it's China, Japan, Korea, Cambodia, all of those beautiful fucking places, India, and all these ancient cultures. But again, the Atlantean age, that's why everyone's like, oh, I think I found Atlantis in Bermuda, or we found Atlantis over here. No, fuck. The Atlantean age was a worldwide civilization of a time of higher consciousness, essentially a golden age, a span of time that lasted, but everything that, has a beginning, it always has an end, but there was no fucking Atlantis on an island that sunk. Fuck no. It was the great deluge that fucking killed us all. And that's definitely provable with geological evidence. Even the fucking pyramids and shit were underwater. No, we are responsible for everything that we do. Every single choice that we make every day matters, and it ripples out throughout time. It depends on how, if you have an ultimate dream, it either moves far away from you or comes closer, So I mean, I do feel like one day that craft will come back. Maybe I'll meet who's on it. Just like this. I saw it just like this in my waking body, walked out on my balcony, whatever the fuck it was. So I still have faith that they will return, and maybe I will have the opportunity to step into that thing with them. I don't know. But there is clues. There are clues all spread out. There's this Japanese cult thing, and it was called Happy Science. And in one of those movies there, I'm sure I posted this on my Telegram, okay? In one of the movies, they have an ancestor of this young fella. I think it was the Hermes one or something. Love of Hermes or something. And there is a UFO. This young fella's ancestor, and she's also around his age, around 14 or whatever. This is an anime. And when he gets into the craft, she gives him a vaccine. I'm sure it's some type of a shot or something. And then he gets all weird because it's his spirit body and his physical body adjusting. It's almost like a shot they can give them to do this process almost maybe artificially, temporarily. I don't know if it's permanent or not. But this has been expressed several times. Claudio Nocelli actually talks about something like this in his work, and I recognized it this way when William Morris is on the ground of the ship and the crewmates are going through, when they've just crossed through the cellular web that encases the ice wall. So they go through this kind of like energetic, etheric barrier, essentially the dome, what the dome is made of. And on our bubble of our world here that covers the known lands. Yes. So there probably is several of them. It's probably like bump and then bump and then bump, because it might keep them in their spaces in their dimension as well. This is how that might be represented. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. And when they pass through that, they get that vaccine. Sorry, I'm just envisioning it, so it helps me be able to explain it better. But this is also a combination of body and spirit, and this is how they travel on the UFOs. So there is some examples of it. So it could be possible, but do I believe Elena Danon's doing that? Fuck no. Okay, let me see here. Good. You probably know it from before. This is all inside of everybody, you guys. It's not like I'm fucking special. This all awakened inside of me. It will for you too. And this is probably why you're here to hear it, right? Your subconscious is a fucking superhero. You just have to awaken it and connect with it. You know, it really is looking out for you all the time, and it's hearing everything you absorb every single day. It knows. But so does your shadow side. They're not working. You know, they will, but you got to get your shadow side and your light side to work together as friends and partners in unison. You cannot just destroy that shit. You have to integrate it, heal it, and integrate it, and learn to work as partners, you know, like a team. But it's very important that both of them keep each side in check. It's very crucial about balance with your dark and light side. You know, that's why it creates gray skull, because they combine, you know? You really do need the power of your heart and mind, though, yes? It's not just about gray skull, but it also is a process of the heart, yeah? A lot of these people do follow the path of the mind and think the heart's a weakness. That's why a lot of people think I'm a weak-ass motherfucker. You know, when I cry or I express that I'm going through struggles or that I have pain, they'll attack you for that, you know? They think it's a weakness, but it's not. It's actually the greatest strength there is, your heart. With the combination, I think that maybe either or on their own might be dangerous, because sometimes the heart can be wicked and lead you down the most ridiculous paths. Like, you know, like I straight up have like such a crush on Claudio. I'd even just like to meet that man just once and talk to him, see what he's like. But you know, it's ridiculous. And it may be, you know, one of these paths that's why Jesus is like, the heart is wicked. Well, it's not actually wicked, but it can, without being, you know, almost hand in hand with the mind. Yes. They can both get you into some trouble, I suppose. But together works well. Lego says, I let go of the concept of death a long time ago. Having knowledge of past lives reminds you that life is a journey. And at the end of one journey, another journey begins. Exactly. You know, and that's what, like, how it describes the higher colleges and universities. It's a new way of learning. You'll get new jobs and new things to do, but somewhere else, you know, it's not here when you graduate out of this place. That's what I mean by when I call it a soul school. It's a school for all of our souls. Not anybody's exempt. Anybody that lives here today, you're part of school. You just may not be in the same grade as me or the person that's sitting next to you. You know what I'm saying? If there is someone, but you get what I mean, right? We're all not at the same level, but some of us may be. We all don't graduate together. Just like in high school. Remember when you were a couple grades and you're like, oh, the fucking 12th graders are graduating. Wish I could. Well, there is something like that, like in the spiritual too. You see? In the soul school. Because it definitely is, like what I truly want is I just really want to live and enjoy this life while I have it. One thing that I haven't got to experience is love, in all its forms, but especially like romantic love. I really, really, really love to find my kingdom spouse husband. It pisses me off that I haven't. But yeah, fuck, moving on. If everything passes through a cycle, says the most necessary, that would suggest a sort of predetermined outcome. Individual choices would therefore have a limited effect. You're right. So basically, the divine creator, I think, is trying to materialize itself in our vessels. That's why it's called a YouTube channel, like I was saying. Maybe it's getting back to the source as close as possible. Don't know. But I believe that each of us are chosen for different paths. Like I said, I had no fucking control over all this. I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't do it on purpose, Like, I had this fucking goal. I mean, I always hoped that I'd become, like, a sort of superhero, but my superpowers, like I said before, are now my mind, heart, and soul that is expressed through this voice, through this vessel here, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need those type of superpowers anymore. I'm using them right now. Yeah? If it's not a closed loop in definition, it can't be a cycle. You're right. It's more of a spiral, a never-ending one that just keeps going. That's what that universal spiral represents, almost like the Ouroboros eating its tail. That's what it is. And we will see how it just keeps eating its tail. That's what that is. Forever going. Forever and ever and ever, creating and destroying. That's what that is, y'all. So, a most necessary, what you're trying to understand is this visually. That's the Ouroboros. This, Mount Meru, is you. So this is always forever going with you. But you reach the top of the mountain. This is your crown or consciousness. Like this would be your tree roots, like this. This is your spine. And this is your crown. And the bird who flies the most high, like the eagle, is the divine creator who sees all, yeah? That's what you're trying to understand. It's the Ouroboros. I hope the visual of it helps. It's technically not. So you're creating and destroying yourself all at the same time. If that makes sense. I hope. That's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I perceive it and understand it. Daimon or higher self knows, or sometimes daemon. But there's warnings about that in this book, in that chapter that I told you. Because a lot of people think like these beings are to be worshipped and divine. And then, that's why David Wilcock thought that it was Archangel Michael. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not always the case. So, but the higher self, I guess, yeah, or Deva, like in Hinduism, it's called like your Deva, and then every Deva has an Asura, like a higher dimensional is the Deva, and the lower dimensional is the Asura. So I suppose this is just another way or translation of seeing what you mean. So the diamond higher self knows literally I felt like I've been here before. Yeah, me too. And it's the first live stream. I know this is your first time here. You join. It's not like experience a loop moment, but her discernment resonates strongly, and that's excellent. That's why you clicked on this. Nothing happens by coincidence. I think that everything is for a reason. Hi, Steve's Vids. Hi from the UK. I hope, oh, geez. Well, I hope that you had a good day at least, because it's really not going so great for the UK at the time. But hey, it's not going so good over here either. But I hope all is well with you, Steve. It is 3 a.m., eh? It's a very spiritual time for now that we're talking about spiritual things. But yeah, ever since I was a little girl, I knew that I had been here before. I could just feel it. People used to tell me that I was an old soul, even as a little girl. And again, you've just been around the block or through the cycle. Woo, weird, and eventually, I don't always think that it's not going to be like as shit as it was for me in this life every time, because the last time I was here, I lived pretty fucking good. Even though there was a lot of physical violence in a different way, it was different. There was different fighting. Like I said, it was different. We had just gotten bodies for the first time, and, nah. And I lived for quite a while the last time, but I think that in the end, what happened, like they talk about it almost like in a failed experiment in some of these alien, stories about it, but it's just a way of transforming, Divine Creator had a lot of pretty cool ideas over time. They weren't, necessarily all the best, but they were cool. So yeah, it's your subconscious. Your subconscious is your intuition. You follow these feelings, and again, I think that maybe the subconscious is part of the Divine Creator, like I was saying, like that piece of you that says that God lives within you. Well, you just have to blossom it. I made a video about that, about thoughts goes where energy flows, and that is in a way a kind of creation. I believe it helps the, that seed. That's why we call ourselves star seeds, right? Like it's your little star, your little sun, that's how you make it grow and develop it. This is your Christ consciousness. It rises up, almost like sunrise. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I heard that rumor too, Spooky, that Manly P. Hall was murdered. Even his wife thinks so, by the protege or whoever, when they were on vacation. Yeah, I know. I heard about that. I wouldn't doubt it, because even Manly P. Hall, I quote, he says, in the ways in which they hide the mysteries, which is this, and things like Initiation, The Initiates of the Flame, is an excellent book that he wrote. I actually cried when I finished that. It was so incredible. But yeah. He probably was, because he the way that I've experienced his teachings, nowhere does it say, that you should lie and bullshit your way, like this, to make this encyclopedia type of thing. He was like 20 years old when he made this. That's absolutely incredible. It doesn't mean you're a perfect person. We all make mistakes, and he will probably be reincarnated again to do another round at some point, just like we all do. But while he was here, holy geez, did he ever make his time worth it, didn't he? But of course somebody killed him. They face great envy and jealousy because people want to be like them or steal their work and take credit for it. Just like people are today, they're making their AI channels and feeding it with Helena Blavatsky stuff and, making money off of it and having really no fucking clue how to do what I've just done for the past 3 hours and 10 minutes. You know what I mean? I don't know. Again, this is just materialism, trying to rise to the top and make that money, hustling. But sometimes you listen to those videos for 40 minutes and you're like, what the fuck was that? So it just is just a bunch of word garbage. But yeah, he probably was. I wouldn't doubt it at all. There were probably a lot of envious people, you know, and he probably wanted, like Nikola Tesla wanted his work for the whole world. Manly P. Hall probably wanted it for everybody too. I know they were part of secret societies, but listen, not all those fucking people are the same. Not all those people are evil, greedy, nasty motherfuckers. He said the ways in which they hide the mysteries is highly unusual. You know what he said about Aleister Crowley? I laughed out loud. If you look up Manly P. Hall's opinion of Aleister Crowley, he goes, yes, I know of him. I'll never forget his fucking voice. I love the way they talk. Yes, I know of him. I have one of his books. I keep it in the top of my drawer. It's a top drawer of my desk. Sometimes I take it out and I look at it when I want to see something extraordinarily stupid. He had a way of insulting people, for absolutely sure. When you called somebody highly unusual back in the day, that was talking shit. If you don't know that, that was talking shit back in the day. So, oh, thanks, Stu. Yeah, The Initiates of the Flame is a fantastic book. I have it on my bookshelf. Hang on. Where are you? Come, teachers. You are summoned. So this is The Initiates of the Flame by Manly P. Hall. Okay. I'm going to show you something that really struck me, again, about that whole acquisition of money thing and prospering at others' expense. Okay, we have the Holy Grail, which is you. Here is the Black Grail, and then the White Grail. Okay. Now, who does this sound like? And it has a money sign upside down. It says, choose your path, okay? Prosperity at others' expense, selfishness, shortcuts, mastered by appetite and comfort. You know, like Elena Denun's going to Japan and all the comforts of her trip, going on tour. Oh my goodness. You're living a very comfortable life, huh? The White Grail says service, self-sacrifice, purification, love, and study. See? Now, do you think Corey Good is this one or this one? It does suggest that you need to walk between the poles, but it says choose your path. Sometimes you'll walk on the dark side. Sometimes you'll be a light side. Sometimes you'll be a Jedi. Sometimes you're going to be a Sith. The cycles will always be different. You will go from light to dark or return to source. Move over and over. You'll play different roles. But it says here in this excellent book, it's incredible, especially if you have these feelings within you. This is something, because that's your little flame. Your little flame. That's why I wear that hair clip in my hair. In my photo shoot, it's got wings on it with a circle. Okay. Sure, you can email it to me, Spooky. Once you email me on the email that's on the about me thing, because I have a personal email, like the one that I contact Stephen Cambion on, because it's not the same one as lastminutelacy@mail.com. I'll give you that one. And because I talked to Stephen on that one, Stephen Cambion. But you can definitely email me, okay? It's just so that I can keep track of important emails. And like now it's that fucking email is just flooded with so much shit from every time. What did I connect to that? It's just got a lot of bullshit emails in it now. But what am I trying to... The greatest of mystery schools. This is my favorite part. The world is the schoolroom of God. Our being in school does not make us learn, but within that school is the opportunity for all learning. Like, this is what the internet is for. You can learn so much on the internet. I mean, I got so much shit for free learning on the internet. It has its grades and its classes, its sciences and its arts, and admission to it is the birthright of all man. This is your fucking birthright. No one has the right to charge you for this or withhold this from you. Its graduates are its teachers. Its pupils are all created things. Its examples are nature. And its rules are God's laws. Those who would go into the greater colleges and universities must first, day by day and year by year, work through the common school of life and present to their new teachers the diplomas they have won, upon which is written the name that none may read save those who have received it. The hours may seem long and the teachers cruel, but each of us must walk that path. And the only ones ready to go onward are those who have passed through the gateway of experience. God's great school for man. It says, of the elements of the earth is the altar composed. It is the great cube of matter, or of in this altar burns a flame. On or in this altar burns a flame. It is this flame that is the spirit of all created things. Man, know thyself. Thou art the flame, and thy bodies are the living altar. Cool, huh? I loved this book. It almost felt like a gift, like the divine creator gave it to me. And, even though it was created through the channel of Manly P. Hall, I felt like it was a gift straight from the divine, and I made my choice, I chose the White Grail. That's why in that video when I used Sailor Moon, it was like, White Grail power! That was what was symbolically representing, Let's see. The Initiates of the Flame connects to other authors that could provide some insights on metaphysical significance of volcanoes. I live in Costa Rica, and I literally read that book near a volcano. And of course, we all see the orb triangle lights in the sky, almost bioluminescent every day. So being an initiate of the flame represents many things on the spiritual level. Of course, yes. And in that chapter about the elementals, the salamanders, or the beings of fire, will travel in orbs or red orbs. It talks about this, fiery orbs. Yeah, it talks about this in here. And this is another book by the same man, Manly P. Hall. Yeah. The other one, this is again another one I love. It's called Man, the Grand Symbol of the Mysteries by Manly P. Hall. This is excellent too, because it talks about how we are like a micro universe, a mini of a representation of the greater, the macro, which is outside, micro small, macro large. That's what as within, so without means. The inside is a reflection of the outside. So this one's really, really cool. You can go through my playlist, though. Oh, yeah. That's so crazy how I said how Claudio Nocelli his map reminded me of a giant cell. And I just opened the book, and there's the cell. But it does remind me of this cellular theory. But this book was so cool. You can, though I was saying, the playlist. I have a esoteric or occult something playlist. And that's where all my Manly P. Hall lectures are. There's one directly labeled Rudolf Steiner. This is my playlists. And there's so many excellent teachings. The David Chan one will teach you about this spiritual realms. But I also have a book by Rudolf Steiner, which teach about the spiritual hierarchies in the physical world. Yeah. And so again, we have that kind of outer rings, and these also represent the spiritual hierarchies and levels of that. Yes. This is an excellent book as well that I recommend. And then the last one here is with Helena Blavatsky. And again, this one talks about the origin of evolution of the universe explained in terms derived from the Hindu concept of cyclical development, like spirals of time, cycles of time. Yes. But this one is really advanced. I haven't been able to get into it yet because it's written in such a way that I can barely understand it. So this is something that is advanced for me. But the Initiates of the Flame was not. Again, it might just appear that way because I haven't really... Listen, some very critical readers will perhaps imagine that this teaching as to the commentary stage passed through all the heavenly bodies is in contradiction with the statements just made as to the moon being the mother of the earth. They will perhaps fancy that intuition is needed to harmonize the two, but no intuition is in truth required. What does science know of comets, their genesis, growth, and ultimate behavior? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And what is there so impossible that lay a center, a lump of cosmic protoplasm, homogeneous and latent when suddenly animated or fired up, should rush from its bed in space and whirl around throughout the abysmal depths in order to strengthen its homogeneous organism by an accumulation and addition of differentiated elements. Holy fuck. I don't even understand what I just fucking read, really. I tried to really hard, but I'm pretty high. But as you can see, that one's a little bit advanced for me, but... Oh, I don't think I'm a genius, that's for sure, but thanks, Cellular. I just worked really hard. Send an email. Okay, cool. I'll know it's you. Because most of it's fucking junk mail, so if it actually looks like a real email, I'll know it's you. Remember, Blavatsky was a Ukrainian-born English speaker who spent a long time in the East. Yeah, she did. I know. I do feel that, especially with like what they created with like Initiation, because it was her and Alice Bailey. There was a couple people. Bader, fuck, I can't remember his name. C.J. Betameter, fucking something. I fucking can't remember. Led shit. Well, you know, there was a couple of people that worked on that, right? I did like a little video of learning a little bit about Helena Blavatsky, and but not all that much. But I do know that she did a lot of traveling, learning in the East. What she did was translate it for the Western mind, especially at the time, right? Mm-hmm. But that led better. Yeah, you got it. Thank you, JS. Welcome. Thank you so much for your help. Yeah. I'll show you something. It's a really damn shame that they got rid of Initiation. You know? It's just, it's sad. It helped me so much. And then they just deleted it off the internet. And I couldn't find another source for it in this way. It had been rewritten. Hold on a second here. I copied it and put its source here, you see. Lead CW lead beater. So you almost got it, but it's spelled LEADBEATER. CW lead beater. And Alice Bailey. They created like a group of people, a society, I suppose. It was called the Theosophical Society, Theosophy. Like with that really cool symbol. I have it here. Where it says, "There's no higher religion than truth." See? That. And it has the Ouroboros. So it was this group. And they wrote this. Initiation. Oh, I went past it. Forgive me, I'm very high. There is the level of initiations, the 7 choices before the perfect human. There's always that number 7, eh? It also goes up with the dimensions and the chakras. So it says, remain with humanity as an official of the hierarchy. Become one of the masters of the ancient wisdom. To remain with humanity as the mere Nirmanakaya, or become a bodhisattva. I think that's the avatar. Or 3, you can join the devas, which are the higher dimensionals, probably higher dimensional aliens. Well, what we know as aliens, but they are interdimensionals, but they are the higher dimensionals, right? Like technically angels, or the devas are known as gods. It says, join the staff corps of the solar logos. So this is like the Galactic Federation. That's the translation of them. They're the staff corps of the solar logos. I do feel like there is a kind of spiritual, like I called them the spiritual police. What did I fucking call them? Hold on. Outer space police. Yeah. It's kind of like that, but in Elena Danon's interpretation, it would be this Galactic Federation. Again, it is part of the spiritual hierarchy. It says, join the masters living in the etheric cities inside the sun, who supervise the activities of the solar angels. Again, the sun is another representation of the divine creator. It says, the sun who supervises the activities of the solar angels that direct the process of evolution of the life waves, process of reincarnation. It's like you have different jobs. Some people are spiritual doctors. Some are looking over reincarnation, doing da 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 da. This is what they mean about the higher colleges and universities. And you'll train for that also, I would assume. So the process of reincarnation of the beings on all planets of the solar system, all of whom, except those on Earth, live on the etheric planes of their planets. I heard Elena Danan say that there are aliens on Jupiter, but they live in another dimension. So that bitch is using a play on words, right? It says, number 5, prepare the work of the next chain. Join that subsection of the staff corps and the solar logos, who are the solar planners who plan the future development of planetary civilizations in the solar system. So, like, there may be groups like these custodians who planned all of this, who created this cycle, you know, as a part of schooling. I mean, it may not be the nicest, but it seems that, you know, even there are beings that are above, like, the government that we have now, and That's why it seems like all of this has been planned. It doesn't just stop at our government. I think it goes even higher beyond that into what these custodians are. But they, it's probably in technically their job, Custodian does mean caretaker in, by definition, or one of the definitions. And then 6 and 7 enter nirvana. So basically that just means heaven and the afterlife, and you don't maybe you just rest in peace or whatever kind of way. You don't really have any jobs anymore. But I suppose this is what you would do at the end, like after you would be like the silent watcher, it says, as the 10th initiation, right? The 9th initiation is godhood. Anyway, you can find this entire thing on my channel. I did a video about it. The link won't work anymore because it's literally been deleted, but it was at one time. I know the source of Wikipedia, but it is so incredibly written, especially when it was rewritten right before they fucking deleted it. But I got to read it. I took screenshots of it and I read it in a video. It's absolutely incredible. 8th initiation is Buddhahood. 7th initiation is the Bodhisattva avatar or Christhood. You see? So it's extraordinarily interesting, this. Good. I'm glad. Enjoy it. Because your subconscious will remember. You'll take it with you. And so you remember these things, that I've said to you. The 6th initiation is the ascension or masterhood. Okay. The 5th is the resurrection. The 4th initiation is the crucifixion. The 3rd initiation is the transfiguration of how everything is coming together right now, how I'm learning how everything works, how I'm connecting the pieces of my spiritual body, my mind, and my spirit body, and like this etheric consciousness concoction. Yes, I said it was an all-chemical transformation. So yeah. So it says, an individual who was at the 3rd level of initiation has acquired fully developed clairvoyance and clairaudience. According to Benjamin Prem, there are somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000 people at this level of initiation. But after the 3rd, I don't know if you come back here. So after you get out of the 3rd, it goes into the perfected one. Anyway, it was extraordinarily interesting. It helped me understand a lot, and even showed me that, how they say how extraterrestrials are like teleporting or biolocate. It says at the 5th initiation, like 5D or whatever, but it calls 5th initiation, called the resurrection, like how Christ risen is symbolically from the tomb, and he had this new body, told Mary not to touch him, right? Because he had this new, clean, refreshed body. Of course, it is symbolism and allegory, but this was after he was crucified, right? So it would be in the resurrection, the 5th initiation, yes? It says, beings at this level had the ability to teleport and biolocate moderate distances and levitate within a localized area. It also suggests in the Vedic teachings that I posted on the lower dimensionals that, well, it suggests that what you really would want is the beings that don't need a UFO. You'd want the ones that can biolocate right into your living room. And that's why I said, like, why the fuck can't Thorhan do that in Elena Danan's living room and give her a big smooch on the lips so she'd love that, smack her on the ass and be like, see you later, baby. Even that's the only time that he could show up. Why not? This doesn't make any sense. It's not that because of this. I mean, this is just giving me a way to see things differently, right? A change in perspective, so to speak. But this is a repeat of information. It's like different languages, just translated differently, you know? But what they've done with this is extraordinarily interesting, and it's really helped me understand, you know, how, like I always thought, I always called this life soul school, and now I understand how it really is a school for souls, you know? Yeah, everybody's initiation is happening right now. It says, Initiation 0, the vast majority of ordinary humanity lies on the probationary path. It's almost like waiting to be accepted into this school. You know, like it says here, the first initiation is your birth into the spiritual life. So, you know, there's a lot of people that like are at, like, you know, they talk about this I am type of thing. You'll see it. Like how I went through stages of thinking, you know, about the Starseed thing. I didn't really associate. Somebody tried to tell me that I was a Palladian once, and it just didn't resonate. I'm like, what the fuck? No. But I do understand how I resonated with that word, but definitely not with like a certain species or people like Lyran or a Syrian or a reptilian or what the fuck ever. You know what I mean? But I definitely did resonate with that word. And so I guess now I would associate that with being called like solar being, you know. What's his name talks about this? One with the glasses. Billy, the fuck is that guy's name? I just totally forgot his name. Carson. Billy Carson, right? The guy, the black guy with the sunglasses. Forbidden Knowledge. Sorry, I didn't mean like black guy, but you know what I mean. Forgive me. He is black though. Think of the Spanish conquerors, the Jesuit missionaries, the Native American. They couldn't stop talking about orbs and etheric life forms, so they hid it. Huh. Well, the thing about it is that the indigenous peoples of most parts of the world were into not like nature magic, but their religious beliefs were based on the observations of nature, because you can learn a lot from observing nature, right? So this is how over time, you know, being indigenous peoples, of course, they would be observing their natural surroundings and learning from that, as well as learning from the skies and stuff like this, right? But I guess so. Yeah, of course they talked about the spiritual life. I mean, the ancient Egyptians were all about the spirit. And they made now it seem like on Ancient Aliens, they're talking about aliens and shit. No, they weren't. They were talking about the spirit, the spirit body. And they even talk about like Merkaba. The Mer or something it means like body, mind, soul or something. I friggin' did I can't remember everything, but Merkaba is your spirit when your body fucking travel. Just fuck. Let me go see. It was a video that I did about Elena Denon because she's wearing a Merkaba. Hold on. Oh, guys, I'm so tired. It was the last video that I did. Oh, fuck, I'll just go find it. I'm gonna have to go soon because it's 10:30 and I'm tired. I want to actually, well, I mean, I could stay a little bit longer, but if there's, I didn't even see how many people are here. Hold on one second. Oh, Jesus. Well, I guess we can stay a little longer. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for pressing like and all of that. And the internet allowed for a second Wild West. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Spooky. This is the fucking Wild Wild West for sure. Okay, let me see. HB allowed the influx of Eastern, Helena Blavatsky, Eastern esotericism to the newly formed West. This is why early Wild West had a snake oil salesman and cults. Yeah, I agree. I can see that. Taking the teachings and misapplying them or being harmful. Yeah. And I mean, that's what I was talking about with the Kabbalah. You know, that's not meant to be used for this way. And it got way out of control. Too many people are using it for the wrong things. Even the Orthodox Jewish peoples, that's what I heard that from. They're like, no, we don't practice that. There's only a certain sect. of juice that do this, and you're supposed to be specially trained for that, not to use it for bullshit, for lying and trickery and all that fuck around shit, you know? So that's what I was saying with that, but a lot of people don't understand that. They think that you're being super anti-Semitic or something, but no, I don't apply that shit to all Jews. I'm not saying that they're all like that, but there are some that have used the Kabbalah. It's fucking ridiculous, but there's not all of them. They're not all Jewish, but there's a lot of them that are. Like, think about Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein. They know about this kind of shit. Energy manipulation, all that fucking stuff. That's why they he liked kids, you know, that Epstein. Fucking sicko. Okay, let me see. Okay, so cellular says, and the cellular correspondence that exists between orbs in our own cells. We become orbs, pure protoplasm. Let's go round again. The ufologists hide this from you. It's about our own real evolution. Well, I could see that, like, as within, so without. We do have inner elementals as well as outer elementals, right? So I can see that, yeah. Okay. Definitely the internet is the wild, wild west. The initiates and gatekeepers in the Royal Society back in the 18th century gave Darwinism false evolution to the masses, yeah. As well as they consider them profane, part of the esoteric non-initiated crowds. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I've talked about this before on my channel too, about that. They talk William Bromley wrote a book called The Gods of Eden, where it talks a lot about that kind of stuff too, with these different societies, and trace this down to it. It's not 100%, you know, but it's an excellent book that I learned a lot from. It was a lot to absorb, but it was really, really good, where he kind of breaks it down. I'm glad you're enjoying this little. Okay, let's see here. Okay, good night, Spooky. Good night. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Okay, I always wondered why New Age people stuck to the starseed groups. Like, how many multitude of different constellations and groups? Why do they always mention the same ones? Yeah, I know. Well, a lot of them have direct connections with one of the four elements, right? Earth, air, fire, and water. This is why even our astrological sign, like I am a fire sign as a Leo, right? So we all have these elemental attachments. We are made of earth, air, fire, and water. So I believe the water is the blood, earth is the bones, spirit is fire. What the fuck did I miss? Air is the breath, you know? So we are of earth, air, fire, and water. Yeah, so the Merkaba. Yeah, hang on one second. I'll show you that video with Elena Denat that I did about that. And she wore the Merkaba. She knows this. She knows that it's spirit body travel and all that. I'm not trying to, it's not about hate. You know, it has nothing to do with hating the woman, because I fucking don't hate her. You know? And I think she's a bitch, but I don't hate her. There's a difference about that. So this one. No, I don't think it's that one. Was it the one? Fucking shit. I thought that I could see her picture with the Merkaba on that particular one where I talked about the Merkaba and explaining why she was wearing that. Yeah. She is lying to you and knowingly lying. Yeah, she is. I mean every word of this one. You know what I mean? You're a fucking liar. You know you're lying. You're full of shit. I need to sell books. Ah, piss off. There it is. That's the video I'm talking about. But I explained it there about the Merkaba. And so, here, let me see here. Okay. Yeah, light, spirit, body. Mer means light or water. It's also the combination of the water and fire thing, the primordial water and fire thing that does the Merkaba. But Mer is light, Ka, spirit, and Ba is body. So that's what Merkaba is, That's why I say to raise your vibration, But yeah, so there's that one there. She knows that. It's Jewish mysticism, though. So, found in the book of Ezekiel, it involves the heavenly realms and the throne of God. The work of the chariot, and tradition detailing the mystical experiences associated with, it's spiritual, associated with the Merkaba. Its Egyptian influence says it facilitates travel between dimensions, you see. But this is your body, your body that is able to transform, to transcend dimensions. So, and she's an Egyptian magic whatever. So, Anyway, I'm hungry. So I might make toast and cereal, but I don't know. My voice is getting a bit sore as well. But yeah, the whole starseed thing is because of we are all still connected to our ancestors. I do believe that they are trying in some way, but there is a level of interference. They're non-interference, so they can't fuck up your journey. You really have to learn on your own. It's vitally important, in fact. And because I've been real pissed off at my spirit team, like, why didn't they tell me anything? And people like Elena Danan seemed like they were, had with this Thor hand was getting all this shit, and I didn't know she was making that shit up. But learning this and then transforming it into something else to feed bullshit to others, But again, she uses Thor hand as a way of energy generation for herself. He's an inner element of her missing aspect of probably romantic love in her life, Yeah. No, it's almost 11 o'clock, so I think I'm just going to call it a night. And I'm getting real tired. Just hang on one second. It's landed on her surname. Yeah, I know. Her name isn't even that. I researched her real name already. It's actually Helena Zachariah Delaporte. Something just like Alex Collier's real name is like Ralph Amigos or something. So it is. It's a made-up identity. Yes, Irish folklore of the Tuatha De Danann. So I have a book, not a book. I have a video that I did where my Anunnaki research, and that's where she found me on Telegram and, decided to change her game there from the Federation to the Anunnaki bullshit after that. Yeah, Ralph Amigron or whatever. Yeah, sometimes I fuck that name up, but yeah, Alex Collier's not even his fucking real name. But I'm getting super tired now. I think I'm just gonna go. I was gonna eat like cereal and toast on stream, but if you guys are good and you don't have anything else you'd like to talk about, like for real, like I should probably hit the hay. Well, I'm going to eat a little bit first, and then I'm going to go to bed because, I'm getting tired. But I really enjoyed this. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this time hanging out. It was great. I enjoyed it. It was very mentally stimulating, and I really appreciate, you hanging out with me tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. My lips are dry as fuck, too. I forgot to get lip chap. But yeah, thanks, everybody. Oh, wait, before we go, please don't leave just yet. There's something I want to show you. is it? There it is. Okay, look. I think maybe people were laughing because I talked about coloring my coloring book. I mean, I do have adult ones, okay? But I was coloring my Sailor Moon one. And look, I colored this. I colored that. And then I did this one. I colored with colored pencils. And then I did this one. See? And then I did this one. I listened to like documentaries or put ASMR or whatever, ASMR. And I'm going to work on this one next. Cute, huh? And I really enjoy it. So I don't care if people fucking laugh. It's awesome. You know, it's so good for like a meditation type of thing. It gives me a lot of peace and joy, makes me happy. And I really enjoy like, you know, artistically creating in that kind of way, you know? So yeah. So thank you. That's what I wanted to show you the whole time. But where can you buy these coloring books? I got these coloring books on Amazon. They're like $10, maybe like $8, you know? And it's a great time. I've got tons of them. I have so many different coloring books. Some of the mandala coloring books and everything like that. I love coloring. Look, all my colored pencils are here. I got all my shit here. That's a big tin of markers. And I have this big thing of all my colored pencils. Oh, and I have all a bunch right here because I pick out all the colors that I'm going to use in my next drawing coloring before I even start. So like the color of the skirt and like the hair and the background and everything like that. The color of the little baggy purse thing that she's got. Yeah, so I pick out all the colors I'm going to use first. And then I sit here and I'll put something on and listen to it in the background and like, you know, color. I really enjoy it. So yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for liking it. I really appreciate that. I know that it's kiddish, but I really enjoy it. It brings me happiness. So thank you for enjoying it with me. Yeah, Sailor Moon has a lot of symbolic stuff in it. Like they use starseed. They talk about reincarnation. Sailor Moon's actually a representation of the divine feminine in my eyes, you know, almost like, well, Usagi is unconditional love in a human body. So in essentially the Christ in another form, you know. But anyway, yes, it is very fuck, you know. It's awesome. I'm getting so fucking tired, you guys. So thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. And I will try to make it live again soon, maybe more in advance. Oh, thank you so much. I am going to be ending the stream, though. I appreciate you all being here. And I'm sorry for those that are just showing up now. Like, welcome, Scott. Oh, hey. Oh, thank you so much. I was hoping that you'd be able to show up and see that. I was going to show them again anyway another time, but yeah, it's good to see you. Thanks, Anthony. Oh. Well, unfortunately, I don't say the L word to other people like that, but I will give these, you know what I mean? Like, thanks, everybody. But I appreciate you showing that love to me. You decalcify the pineal gland and just color with your subconscious. Yeah, for sure. Like, I think a lot of it, like I said before about the pineal gland, you know, your imagination is your creation station. I think that, you know, using your pineal gland is a lot more than we realize, and it has a lot to do with your mental vision, the way that you can picture things in your mind. So sometimes, when I do my artwork, I can see it on the white piece of paper before I even start drawing it. It's almost like tracing something, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just tracing it almost like a printer from my brain to the paper. I can see it already with like a visualization skill. So, oh, thanks, Thomas. You remember me on Truth Seekers. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate that. I had a good time that night. It was fun. Hey, Danny, I missed you. Good to see you guys again. But you can always, like restart the stream for people that have just shown up. I'll try to do another one, and it seems that there's maybe more people in different time zones and whatever. So I'll try to, make it a little bit later again next time, like 6 to whenever or 7, So yeah, it does. I think that it is important to do what makes you calm and to take care of yourself, But with that being said, I really appreciate y'all being here. But I gotta go because it's been like 4 hours, and I'm super tired. I get something to eat, and then I'm gonna freaking crash out in this bed, and I still have to wash my freaking makeup. See, this is why I don't want to put any on. But sometimes it's just nice to do so, and get dressed up or whatever. But yeah, you gotta wash it off because it's fucking gross. If you don't, you get sits. So thank you for being here, everyone. I appreciate you, and now I'm gonna let you go. See you next time. Okay, I'm gonna say goodnight here. Yeah, thanks, Scott. It's good to see you too. I was wondering, like, where you were, but you showed up just in time. Better late than never, right? Okay. Good night. Thanks again for being here. Good night, Spooky. See you later, Scott. Good night, Anthony. Good night, Thomas. Good night, Deadeye Danny. Good night, Lilith. Good night, Cellular. And everybody else, I'm sorry if I can't remember all of you. Forgive me. Here, I can just go up in the chat a little bit. I don't want to hurt your feelings. Cellular Sanctum, Lilith, Stu. Thanks for being here, everybody. I really do appreciate it. It's a good time. And we'll be back and we'll hang out again pretty soon, okay? Like I said, I'll try to schedule ahead of time. But yeah, take care, everyone. Have a good night. Bye. See ya.